you should be able to close it all on your own so that we can give you a citation when it goes poorly.
Yeah, so when something happens,
I kind of see the logic there because that's technically
airplane mode. Everybody,
I'm not supposed
mics
to
are
be
live
by myself at work, and I'm not going to admit this live on camera because I don't think anybody matters watching this, but it's fine. I'll just come back and bite you guys in the future.
Activating.
All right.
like a heavy service anyway.
There we go. Packed in numbers ever so slightly.
Wait, roll 20, that's the wrong.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
That's for tomorrow.
Yep.
20. I think my mic was a little hot the last couple of weeks. I tweaked mine down a bit. We'll see how that goes.
Speaking of tomorrow, what do you think the over-under is?
Didn't mute it? No.
The
I
number
just-
of new
I just-
characters Fred wants to try.
I don't know. This is I heard he's been back to Kargan.
It's Kargan in the other game.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
he's doing a new riff on Kargan. Slightly less
Terrible. He could be watching.
You could be watching.
He knows we think Kargan is the worst. It's not news to him if he is watching.
I was going to say slightly less in debt to various arcane powers.
Yeah, that's more like that. It's just like Kargan didn't start out as the worst. He slowly got roped into doing things for deities that were the worst.
Yeah.
So really, in this situation, I'm the worst.
Yeah, but Kargan willingly was like, "Yeah, bring all this crap." Like,
No, he just did the D&D equivalent of payday loans. One to one deity, one to another deity, one to another deity. Before you know, it's like
at a real high
Well, you
interest
see,
loan
I
from
needed the second
Santander
one to pay
Bank.
off the first one.
yeah. And all of a sudden, there's like 3 demons, 2 fae, and 14
Kargan is the Bernie Madoff of D&D.
and 4 score deities, and they're all going, "Hey, so you promised us your soul."
How dare you defy my will?
That's fine. You guys can all fight over it after I'm gone. Oh, we will.
I feel like I either need a bigger computer screen or better eyes.
One
Or I
of
just
those
need to
had a
start-
Cyber Monday sale.
I need to start typing in
And
my
it's the eyes.
DM screen. That's right. I need to start typing in my DM's notebook in like a bigger font than 11, I guess.
You can always zoom in.
Yeah, but then I'm gonna
My
be
girlfriend's
confused.
dad's phone like makes me cry every time he hands it to me to like show me something because like
Our
the
mom's-
font is like
our mom's
70
phone.
point. It's like how you
It's
can't.
like,
even
oh, do you
read
enjoy
the whole
reading your
text
text one word at a time? Because that's the size font you have going on right now.
she fought me on getting the plus phone, like the plus phone. I was like, "You can't say anything. You're gonna need the plus." And she's like, "But she still says it's too big." But yet, when I set it to the maximum font setting, she's like, "This is as big as it goes." And I'm like, "Yeah, you still insist that you would have been fine with the regular size."
Did she ever get into that? Because this is another mom thing that I don't know that I ever saw her do, but I have definitely seen exclusively moms do. Is when she got like a tablet for the first time, she used it as like her camera.
No.
Oh.
You mean like the older people at every single concert ever, where it's like
Yeah.
I have an iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna record this.
Somebody's
I
parent that I
never
know
watch
does that. Does like she uses her iPad as her camera, but it's like the front-facing one. So she like turns the camera on, and then she has to go like this, and then go like this to try to take a picture. I'm like, what are you doing with your life?
And our mother,
this button right here.
our mother has an amazing ability, whether it's with her iPhone or whether it was with digital cameras, the fact to press the button so hard it shifts the entire camera, thus making every picture blurry. Because you'd be like, every time it's like bam, like
So-
everything is blurry.
So it looks like an MC Eicher picture.
Yeah, just like congratulations, you managed to get no good photos.
Alright, 22 seconds. And we will be live. Let's see what our sound sounds like.
like, not for nothing, I feel like that would be solved really fast if you took her shooting. Because if you push the trigger
That
too hard,
sounds
it
like-
goes the wrong direction.
Sounds like the worst idea I've ever heard, Jason.
But it's immediate feedback.
This week on
You know how your mother can't handle an iPhone? Give her a gun! That'll solve it!
Forget Samsung. We're going Smith and Wesson, guys.
Goodness. Good evening. Don't give your mother a gun.
Or do.
Unless
I
you
mean,
got
I
a
guess
really
if
good
she's
deal
like-
on Cyber Monday, then, you know.
I guess if she's competent.
Merry Christmas, America.
Don't give our mother.
Yeah, because don't give our mother.
Welcome to
Give your
Tabletop
mother.
Legends. It's Tuesday.
Oh, shit.
Somebody on the stream let me know if I look like I'm crooked. I think my camera is like this. And I think I'm on like a 5-degree angle like this way.
I think that bar being in the way is probably not helping.
What?
The noise recording bar that's like covering half your
No, I'm looking
screen.
at it on Twitch here. Good God. It's the intro.
And
This
we're
is episode-
already off track.
This is episode 27. I have never made it through the first 2 minutes of Tabletop Legends without getting distracted. Happy Tuesday, episode 27, and we are picking up where we left off last week for part 2 of I finally got a name for this adventure arc. It's the Precipice of Oblivion. Ooh, spoopy. If you are watching us right now live on Twitch, thank you for joining us. Please be sure, if you're not already, to subscribe and follow Proficiency Bonus to catch us every week right here Tuesday at 7 p.m. And all of Proficiency Bonus's other... Olive, don't you dare knock the charger out of my computer. All of Proficiency Bonus's other fantastic Dungeons & Dragons and nerdtacular content. If you're watching this VOD later on YouTube, thank you for finding us on YouTube. If you have not already, please subscribe and smash that bell.
Smash that like button.
in memory of Curtis. No, that's a thing that apparently you have to say at the beginning of YouTube.
I'm watching you hate
have to-
yourself for saying
You
that.
have
out
to
loud.
click the notification icon to be notified when we upload.
Noticated?
Noticated.
Notificated.
Yeah, click here for the notificated button. Smash that notificated
Smash
button.
the notificated button.
Actually, the
And
button's
remember
delete
to
the
like,
channel.
follow, and obey.
I am confused.
I'm sorry. It's the elf.
Oh yeah! Hey, it's Christmas!
Yay!
Yay! It's not. It's
still have
December.
turkey in my
Christmas in December.
It's December. Christmas
That's
in
not
December.
a thing.
Or other holidays. We're cool here. We're hip. We know about
The
the
holidays.
Kwanzaa, the winter
The
solstice.
I think calling it the Kwanzaa is borderline racist.
Maybe it might be.
Welcome to the last episode of Tabletop
I
Legends.
need to
the last episode, part 7.
I need like a soundboard, but for like graphic effects, so that I can just like pop that like cancel buzzer.
That is absolutely a plugin for that.
We can do. We'll do it. We'll get on it. Join us next week when we have the ability to cancel our own show live on stream.
More like join us next week where we hit the button, wait around for nothing to happen,
Yeah.
and then are real confused.
3 minutes. I swear to God, we set this up
Yeah,
beforehand.
it worked 10
test this?
minutes
It
ago.
worked before we were live. Thank you to our sponsors. We're still in the intro, guys. This is happening.
All right.
Thank you to our sponsors. Marble Moon Studios, The Eighth House, and Little Dragon Corp, as well as Proficiency Bonuses sponsors the Twitch affiliate programs and Streamlabs, as well as Many Sided Dice and Team MZ. Stick around till the mid-roll when we'll have a sweet video talking about our sponsors, and you'll hear more about them. But let's jump into it. We rejoin the party in the London city of Odrikholme, where they have been sent on their second mission for the Collective of the Arcane Eye to meet up with an old contact of Dimios Themerans, an individual by the name of Investigator Harken, who is sort of like essentially like a homicide detective type of fantasy homicide detective for the privatized peacekeeping, one of the privatized peacekeeping forces within the city of Odrikholme, known as Chimera Palta. The group traveled up there not knowing too much about what was going on, save that Harken had written Dimios saying that there was an investigation that he was going on. It involved a missing girl, and he was getting the vibes that this was something that maybe might have some arcane mumbo-jumbo going on to it. The party traveled to Odrikholme, where they successfully staved off a hustle from somebody in the transit station. They watched a crazy fanatical person attack an elven priestess, who they jumped in and assisted and have since sort of befriended. They met up with a halfling lad by the name of Niles, who they are paying a small fee to serve as their guide around the city. And they made it as far as going to the peacekeeper station of Chimerapalta, where they learned, oddly enough, that although they had Demios had received his letter asking for help on this case from Harken about 3 weeks ago, apparently Harken was fired from Chimerapalta almost 3 months ago. A rather hostile peacekeeper captain saw them out of the building, but they were approached by another investigator by the name of Investigator Teak, who told them that she had been she was acquaintances with Harken and thought he was a decent guy, and if they really were here on behalf of one of his old friends and were going to look in on him, she gave them a tip on where they might find him, which was a tavern by the name of the Oak and Grain. And I believe we left off as the party had made the decision that they were going to secure their lodging for the night, I think. And then I don't know if the plan was to wait until tomorrow or what you guys were doing for there.
I don't think we know.
We left off that we were going to secure our lodgings in the break.
Yes, so we're going to pick up here where you guys are you're at the Pepper Inn, I believe was the one you had decided you wanted to go to.
Yep.
So that's where we'll join you, in the tap room of the Pepper Inn, having secured lodging for your stay in Odrikholme. It is probably late afternoon, early evening by this point, in all that you have done so far today. And the table is yours to do with as you please. Discuss amongst yourselves while I write my camera.
Alright,
I 100% almost thought you were going to say write your campaign. I was confused.
Yep, I didn't prepare anything for tonight's session. So vamp for about 40 minutes. So there's no way this is not going to be much worse than when I started.
It is. I blame the elf.
Does the elf have
Yes.
earrings?
The elf is a girl elf on the shelf.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means.
There's
Is that a yes?
there's different versions.
Yup,
Is the only difference the earrings?
as far as I can tell.
They are all equally
Wow,
terrible.
way to just
Eyelashes.
solidify gender norms, you bastard elf on the elf.
Well, I mean, it's a featureless...
Yeah, but then they had to make it
Nightmare.
female.
Oh no.
That's the thing.
Oh no.
Should have just been a
The elf on
genderless
the
elf.
shelf will be joining us for the duration of this month's episodes. I also have... You can't see them on camera, but I have Christmas trees. Non-denominational holiday trees.
And there's one over in that corner.
And there's one, that one should be on camera. Yeah, you can see that one. So.
Oh.
My whole head is blocking. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Well, that's fine.
Tune in next week when Jason is replaced by the tree
That's
entirely.
The character of Walter.
Jason will be sitting back there, and the tree will be right
Which
up
is
front.
good. I'm going to play on a
We've
weekend
secretly replaced one of our players with this evergreen tree. Let's see if our audience notices.
Plot twist, I've been an
Let's see if our
evergreen tree the
players
whole
notice.
time.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, Kel has the golden D20 tonight
Yes.
for
Bert.
calling Bert.
Poor bird.
Poor Bert.
That's the second Bert I've come up with in my D&D sessions in 2 weeks.
Wow, how unoriginal.
The Wednesday game renamed a Dwarven NPC because in the Wednesday game we're not bound by copyright law. The Wednesday game renamed a Dwarven NPC they came across with Bert Macklin.
Well, that's because his first name was Macklin.
Might have been.
His name wasn't Burt Macklin?
His name was not Burt Macklin.
Huh.
Burt Macklin is Andy Dwyer's FBI shtick from Parks and Recreation.
Please don't sue us.
Hey, sponsored by Parks and Rec. That show's been off the air for 10 years.
Shit has it.
Doesn't mean they won't sue us.
That's right.
I don't think it's been 10 years.
Meanwhile, back at the inn.
Back at the inn, proceed.
Rooms.
Rooms.
Secured.
Okay. It's.
And you all just said rooms.
Yep.
Should we all find where this guy is at the Oak and Green?
Yeah, if he's as drunk as they say, as chances are he's already there and has been for a while.
want to get there early before he's real blasted.
It's probably too late. He is unemployed.
He's been fired for 3 months. He probably hasn't sobered up since.
The sun's
Fair
still up, we have a
warning,
chance.
let's be cautious. If this is a regular spot for other members of Shamir Palta,
Yeah, we should not have any serious conversations there. We
Yeah, it'd
should
probably
just
be
try
real
to
bad
find
if
him.
that cop lady we already got of pissed off just by existing happened to be there.
Well, I
or
think he
someone
would
that
know
reports to her.
Maybe not all of us should go then. It's up to you guys. If we're trying to be
I think we should go
less
pick-
suspicious.
We can just go pick him up and leave.
That's true. Maybe we all don't go into the bar then.
Okay.
All right.
Just saying. If we're trying to be inconspicuous, 5 people that stand out a lot in a cop bar, it's gonna be real suspicious.
Only 3 of us, I think, stand up.
Well, I guess that means you and me. We're the least conspicuous of the lot.
I'm gonna disguise
Like
self
you
as
think
Tom real fast.
You think I don't have a cop costume ready to go?
I'm gonna actually.
Puts on a mustache. There it is.
I'm gonna
We're done.
Yeah, I'm absolutely recasting to Brahm in a cop costume.
Okay.
See how long
Take
that
out
lasts.
your
Mustache
little
and
copper
aviators.
Two
shirt.
versions of Brahm with mustaches.
Like a leather jacket, a mustache, and aviators. Like, let's do this.
I can't handle this. Let's go.
Okay,
Alright.
this is how I end up in a Balon jail cell. Again.
What do you mean again?
It's probably
Nothing.
fine.
Nothing.
Think about it.
So, your inn, the Pepper Inn, is around here. Alright, there you go. Whoa. Oh, we got tricks, boys.
Ow, that actually kind of hurts.
Oh, sorry.
It's been a long time.
Game science
It like
dice.
refracted
They
in
hurt the eyes.
exactly.
The Pepper Inn is about there.
I think it was like right about. More or less.
That's the accidental horse.
Oh,
Is up
right,
in that
right.
direction,
We're not
which
going
is
to the
the-
accidental
which
horse.
is the
Better
cheap,
name.
the cheap one.
The best name.
The
Oh, no.
the oak and grain is it's in a portion called the Strand, which is this deal, or the drag
Yeah, I was
rather.
gonna say
The drag is the
That's the
hole
drag.
outside.
And yeah, is down there ish. It doesn't take you more than 15 or so minutes to walk from your establishment, and maybe you drop off your travel packs or whatever, and head over to the where you were given the instructions by after hearing about it. You were given the lowdown on from Niles on where the tavern is and how to find it. And he did say he'd swing around tomorrow. Just in case you guys needed any further guidance around the city. You get the impression he seems like a good individual, and he seems like he has marked you as people who have coin that you are willing to burn on his services. So he'll be around tomorrow if you guys are needing a guide anywhere. So as you head to the Oak and Grain. So the Oak and Grain, as you arrive, it is a slightly run-down tavern. No more so than any of the other buildings in this portion of the city. And you learned before it was frequented by peacekeepers, so you assume it's probably a fairly safe establishment. It's a little shabby looking, set a little bit out of the way down a side street. the sign hanging above the door, you have arrived as you see a wooden sign hanging above the door that says the oak and grain, and it has a tree etched into it with what look like mugs of ale painted in among the branches as if they are like the fruit growing on the tree. There is a single large glass window and a heavy door which appears to have been painted burgundy at one point, but is now mostly a muddy brownish color with the paint worn away in many places. However, from within, a warm light splashes out into the street from the hearth and the lamps within. The sun is beginning to set at this point. We'll say it's 5 o'clock. It's a little bit before dinner time. So you kind of made haste over there to try and beat the evening rush to this establishment. The interior, the details of the interior, they're obscured. The glass is this is old school medieval style glass, so it's got that real wavy kind of texture to it. So you can't really see clearly within, outside of indistinct shapes of probably a dozen or so small tables, a long bar at the back, and then a handful of patrons kind of moving around inside. As you enter, there are only about 6 people in the tap room. There are the following. There is a haggard-looking man wearing the blue, orange, and gold of Chimera Palta. His cloak is folded over the chair next to him, and his uniform doublet is unbuttoned. He is nursing a flagon of ale and has heavy bags under his eyes. A few tables away, a man and a woman wearing peacekeeping uniforms in green and silver sit quietly eating a meal and talking amongst themselves. The woman glances in your direction as you enter, just her eye drawn by the motion of people coming in, but she quickly looks away back to her companion and doesn't give you guys a second look. There is a man in plain clothes, just normal street clothes, sitting in one corner. There is an ale in front of him which looks untouched, and he has a nervous expression on his face. He looks towards your group as you enter, and he studies you each with kind of a searching expression, but seems to determine you are not who he's interested in, and he goes back to watching the door. A barmaid nods in your direction as you enter, and she says, "Have a seat anywhere you can. I'll be with you in a moment." And she heads through a door to the kitchen carrying a tray of dirty dishes. And the last person in the room is a bartender who is in the process of wiping down bottles, stacking glasses, and otherwise cleaning and organizing the bar back and getting ready for the evening rush.
The 2 men that are each sing alone, the nervous-looking one, roughly how old?
He looks to be, you would guess, late 20s, maybe.
Okay,
he's a little
Harken.
younger.
And the one in uniform?
The one in the, he looks, it looks almost like he's he's off duty, so he's in his uniform, but he's unbuttoned his, his coat. He's probably, you would estimate maybe 40, but a hard 40. He's seen some hard living. He's definitely going gray around the edges. He's got deep rings under his eyes. He looks like maybe you think maybe he came off of a long maybe he's coming off of a long shift or something and he hasn't slept.
Barkeep.
Wait, are we all in there? I thought it was just
It's up to you. I mean, I would have gone in. Or
Alright.
Mulder would have gone in, yeah.
I will stay out. and just-
Watch the street.
Yep.
I guess that makes 2 of us, probably.
Probably.
Okay.
Alright, we'll take seats at the bar.
All right. Why don't you guys who are outside make a perception check for me as you're keep an eye on the street, and then you guys sit down at the bar. And after a couple of moments, the bartender sets down his bottle that he was wiping down, puts it back in its place on the shelf behind you. He kind of walks over to you guys. He's about you would guess he's probably about middle aged, maybe 45, 50. He's got a large build. Most of the hair on the top of his head has gone, has thinned away. but he has like the wise eyes of a bartender, and he comes up and he says, "Ah, new faces. What can I get you gentlemen to drink?"
How's the local ale?
Terrible.
I'll take the stout.
Sure.
Make it 2.
For you, my friend.
What do you recommend, sir?
Well, I don't know. If you got no coin in your pocket, the terrible local ale's pretty good. It'll do the job. It's cheap.
I got some coin.
Well, what's your fancy? You a wine man? You more of a hard liquor type of
Yeah,
gent?
I'm looking.
I got something for you. Hang on.
Guy.
He goes, what?
Said I'm a hard guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He pours 2 stouts, hands them to you guys, and then he brings up a bottle of like a kind of an amber colored liquor. He goes, "This is a barrel aged whiskey. We bring it in from over in Nistrin. Pretty good."
All right, I'll go with that.
All right. He pours you like 2 fingers worth of this whiskey into a glass and slides it your way. He says, "Well, what brings you fellas into my fine establishment? Can't say I ever remember seeing you before, and I got a pretty good memory for faces."
We're new in town, friend.
Ah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You should be.
He says,
Not as much as us.
chuckles. Well, I'll leave you to your drinks. If you need another round or anything else, let me know. I think there's a stew on in the back. And he goes to like move away from you.
Before you go, we're wondering if you can give us some a little bit of insight. You know a guy named Harken?
Oh yeah, I known Harken for years.
You know where I can find him?
He gives you kind of an appraising look. Depends why you're looking for him.
I gotta talk about something. A little bit of business. He's not in any trouble.
At this point, I'm trying to give a quiet look without looking around the room.
Okay, sure.
$21.
Okay, and how were your guys' perceptions outside?
10.
Nice.
19.
Jason's just throwing dice. As you look around your room, you don't see anybody that looks like they're paying especially attention to you. The two individuals in the green and silver are continuing their conversation. The nervous younger man by the door is still like watching the door. He's like waiting for somebody to come in. And the individual in the Chimera Palta uniform is just drinking his drink and kind of staring off. Definitely seems like he's just sort of unwinding at the end of a shift. You guys, well, you don't. You notice a man in a
He's in a
I want to say it's purple and gold. I'll confirm that in a second. A man in a purple and gold peacekeeper uniform does like a pass past the tavern, and then like another pass past the tavern. And on his second pass, you see him like kind of appraise you guys a little bit, as if trying to like see what your deal is, as you guys are sort of like loitering outside front of this tavern. And that's what you notice.
It's two big signs. There's no
Can I-
loitering.
Hello.
Oh God.
He sort of he kind of stops and nods. His evening, ma'am. Everything all right this evening for you?
Yep, we're just waiting on friends inside. We're trying to find someone. We're new to town.
Very well then. I wish you well. And after you have this exchange, he kind of like, he nods, and he kind of turns on from his like second drive-by, he sort of turns, and he actually goes past you guys with sort of another nod. He goes into the bar. So as you guys are having this following conversation, you like at some point the door opens and this individual in the purple and gold comes in. And so I'm trying to think where we were here. So you had said some stuff. The innkeep kind of looks still a little like cautious. Your description was maybe a little vague for his taste, and he offers up. Well, I can tell you this much. He's been coming here a lot of years, Harken, and it's probably been a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks maybe. I haven't seen hide nor hair of him. Ah, crap. Pretty, I certainly hope he hasn't taken his patronage somewhere else. But, he hasn't been around here. Who'd you say you were with again, that you're looking for him?
I'm not with anybody, I'm just with myself.
Yeah. He kind of looks, he says, well, he's not here.
Well, this has been enlightening.
So as this, like, you guys are having this conversation, that guy in purple and gold, he comes in, and he goes and sits over that table with the nervous-looking guy. And, like, you see them sit down and kind of, like, lean in close, and the nervous guy, like, starts talking to the guy in the purple and gold. He's across the room. You can't hear him, but you see this, like, conversation begin to take place. The bartender kind of moves away from you guys a little bit, and he serves somebody else a drink. One of the two green and silver clad peacekeepers kind of like flags him down for a drink. He pours a flagon of ale and brings it over, hands it to them. And he comes back and he has a thoughtful expression on his face. And he says, he looks over to you and he says, "He's not in trouble, you say?"
Not with me, at least.
If anything, we're looking to help him if we can.
All right. Like I said, I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Which is weird. He's pretty regularly here for a lot of years. And he's been, at least before he stopped coming in, he got a certain way when he was too far into a case sometimes, too in his head. He was getting like that. A couple of times over the years, he'd have a little too much. I helped him back to his place once or twice. I know where he lives. My gut tells me that you guys aren't out to do him any harm, and I'm
quite the opposite.
I'd like to know he's alright. He's rough around the edges. He's had a hard go of it. Especially since... Well, he's had a hard go of it this last decade or so. I'll tell you where to find his place. Drop in on him there. Maybe he's there. That's the best I can do for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Sounds pretty good to me.
So over the next couple of minutes, he, knowing that you're not locals, so like a street address is not going to help you, he gives you guys a sort of a set of directions of like, go this way, make a left here, walk so far down. And he describes to you a tenement building, which is where Harken has his residence. And he tells you that Harken's single room tenement is on the second floor of this building, and it is like unit number 9.
I leave 3 gold pieces, 1 for each of us. Thank you.
He nods.
Finishes. I finish the stout and stand.
And as you guys go to leave, he says, "If you're passing back this way and you do see him, and he's all right, if you wouldn't mind letting me know, or
We'll pass the word.
at least send that asshole in here and tell him I need his business."
One way or the other. We'll send word.
He nods. Thanks. This is Boris, by the way.
Boris, you got a bottle we can take him?
He says, yeah.
Might make it a little easier to introduce ourselves.
He goes down and he brings out a it's like unlabeled. It's just like a brown bottle, and he says, "This is a beer that he's particularly fond of. Bring him this on the house, no charge."
Thanks,
Ken.
It's good.
Alright. We have directions. On our way.
As we go to leave, I'm going to try and eavesdrop something.
Sure. Make a perception check.
As we roll by. It's not gonna be great. 6.
So, and you know what? With that perception check, you can also make me a stealth check.
Ew.
24.
Okay. So you, as you guys are heading for the door, you kind of, you lag. Maybe you sort of you stand near the door and you like fiddle with your cloak a little bit as you're to like make it look like you're getting ready to go out, but you keeps you in their vicinity long enough to try and listen in. And they're talking very quietly, and they're like leaned in together, so you have a hard time overhearing much. You do catch a little bit of a snippet. The nervous-looking guy says, "Look, I swear that's everything that I know. The delivery gets done tomorrow night down by the docks over by the east side." And the golden purple clad peacekeeper kind of says, "You sure you can't do a little better than that? It's going to be really hard to offer you protection if this doesn't go well for us." And at that point, they don't catch you eavesdropping, but like they seem to become aware that you're like in their vicinity, and they stop talking. Right. So you guys are outside. The purple guy went in a couple of minutes ago, and your 3 companions now come out.
Did you find him?
He's dead.
What?
Alright, let's go
No,
on.
he's not.
Well,
Follow me.
We have a nice gift to give him. We know where he lives.
yeah. We didn't get anything. I peel off my cop mustache.
I forgot you had a cop mustache.
That was what I was doing. I was doing like a cop voice. My leather jacket, aviator.
I guess I'll dismiss my prom
60,
disguise.
79.
Did you see that guy in purple and gold going?
Yeah, he looked like he went in to talk with one of the bar patrons, looking nervous.
He scoped the place out a bit before going in.
Did?
If I didn't know better, they're saying the 2 of them plan to meet.
It's a good thing that that's not our problem.
They weren't giving us the eye, so I'm hoping that they aren't involved with whatever it is Harken is up to.
And nobody in the building seemed to react to us talking about Harken, so I'm not too worried about it.
Alright. Follow me. Let's see if these directions that Boris gave us are any good.
All right. Make a
Direction.
group survival check. Urban survival. Bum, 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 bum.
Oh.
Something I feel like I should get advantage on.
17.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
It might be a background picture you have if you did.
4.
All right.
No, I did the or whatever it like. What was it? It was a survival check.
Yep.
So that's a 17.
Okay.
11.
Okay. You're good. And you guys have to, like, a couple of times you have to, like, as Kel goes to, like, turn off onto the street, you're like, this way, Kel.
Kel. Right.
Right.
The other one.
I'm a lemming. I'm just following the person in front of me into traffic.
It takes you about, doesn't take you very long. Harken's place of residence is not very far from this establishment, which sort of makes sense in retrospect that, like, his favorite bar is, like, just a couple of minutes from his home.
Stumbling distance.
So yeah, about a 5-8 minute walk, and you arrive at the building that you are fairly sure from Boris's description is the right place. It is a shabby tenement building, right where he said it would be. It is a 3-level building with about a dozen doors per level, and there are like walkways running along the length of the building on the upper levels. So like imagine it's it's like a 3-story building with like all of the doors are out onto the street, and then there's like walkways on each level, and then a set of switchback stairs on either end of the building.
I'm gonna hand the bottle to Alar. I'll keep watch outside. I can get up to the second floor, no problem, just in case something goes sketchy.
Fair enough. Look around briefly. Some scooter. Step into my coat as well.
Okay. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna stand guard outside, keep an eye out for things. And you guys want to go up and talk to the dude?
Hopefully he's there.
Mr. Harken.
Do we all want to go, or do we think we're going to spook him?
I'm hoping that Daniel's name will open doors for us, literally.
Or the
Okay.
bottle. One of the two.
Oh, my foot.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Were you just evil DM mustache twirling right now?
I've grown it long enough that I can start to fancy man it.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just like nervous, really, really fast.
Now you'll know if I'm eating.
No, right now he's debonair DMing it. Alright,
Who's going up?
Sure.
Everybody but Walter?
I'll go up.
All right.
Yep.
So Walter, you take up a position on the street. Everybody else, you guys make your way to one end of the building. Stairs. Make your way up. You head down, and you find your way to what you are confident is the correct door. It is painted in a sort of like a blackish green. All of the doors are painted in this color. The paint is old and kind of flaking, and there is a tarnished number 9 on the door, although it is like slightly askew. There is a single small window next to the door, but there is a heavy curtain drawn closed over it. And you knock at the door, kind of wait an appropriate amount of time, and there is no response from within.
Nola, can you fix that number?
You straighten the 9. Look at it. And it seems to stay.
Better.
And as soon as you look away from it to Cal, it goes, changes back.
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing Kel's just twitch.
This 9's gonna cause a wild magic surge on us.
Oh, it moved again. Here, let me fix it again.
Alright, so 45 minutes later, you guys have tried to adjust this 9 a bunch.
Just take it off, I'll set it on fire.
As you knock again, you get no response, and it is quiet from within as far as you can tell.
Harken?
Nothing at the door.
Is there a window?
Quick question. Is the entrance outside the building? Like you?
Yeah, so like
it's not like they go into the building to get to the.
No,
to the,
so like if you're standing on the street, you can see them on the second floor.
Yeah, okay.
So there's like it's like a landing with a railing.
Gotcha.
Oh, is this Shady Motel?
Sort of, yeah, sort of shady motel.
Murder motel.
It's like a crummy tenement building.
Okay. Quick glance around. Is there anybody else on the walkway besides us?
No.
Okay. Right. Time. We're getting in the store one way or the other.
Is something bad going to happen when you open it?
We'll find
I
out.
don't know.
I'm gonna cast message and ask if he tested the door.
I'm about to find out. See if it's locked.
You jiggle the.
Like as I'm watching him posting, I was like, "Did you check the door first?"
It is locked. It does appear to be locked.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, is just a simple lock.
Is there a window that I can try to peer in?
There is a window, but there is a curtain drawn over it that you can't see inside.
I would like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. There is nothing magical emanating from within the range of your spell, 30 feet from where you're standing.
All right.
I feel pretty confident that it will not explode.
I look around briefly, flick out my palms, a pair of lockpicks here, and that is a 24.
Takes you like 15 seconds.
We all crowd around him.
Yeah, everybody stands like this with Alar behind them as he just.
When I turn around, I get never do that again. All right, never.
Do what?
Exactly what you guys just did.
The lockpicking does not take more than a few moments, and you hear the kind of the catch springing back out of place inside the chamber.
Right. Slowly, carefully open the door. Push it open a little bit. You're in.
Kind of look in. It is dark within inside. You're able to make out, the dimensions of the room. It is tiny. It's not more than 10 feet by 10 feet. You can see. You can't see everything through, because you're just looking through a crack. But you can see enough to tell that the room is dark and it is empty. Unless somebody's hiding behind the door or something, you can pretty much see that there is nobody in here, and there's not really anywhere in here for anybody to hide.
Crap! I don't think he's here. I'm gonna push the door open a bit more. Harken.
There is no answer from inside, and as you open the door and you kind of look in, you're now able to see a little more. The apartment is tiny. It is a single room, 10 feet by 10 feet, maybe. There is a single bed against one wall. The covers are rumpled and the bed is unmade. And there is a chest at the foot of the bed. Against the opposite wall, a single chair and small table. There is a small space with some cabinets and a countertop for food preparation. There is a tiny hearth with a little stack of logs next to it. The hearth is cold. And there is another door at the back of the room, which, if you had to guess, probably leads to the back of the building, maybe a balcony or something like that, out behind the building. You can make an insight check as you're looking looking at the room here.
19.
The room, you get the impression just from this kind of quick scan of the room that it has been. Nobody has been here for some time.
A little bit of dust.
Not 3 months sometime. Tiny bit of dust, so maybe a week. You get that you get the sense. That it's been a while since anybody has the hearth is cold, so there's not been a fire lit in the past couple of days probably.
I think he's been here in a couple of days, maybe a week.
Is there a sign of where he went off to on the desk?
No, but let's look around, see if there's any clues.
We don't have all the pictures with the string.
No, there's no there's no beautiful mind diorama wall to look in on. But yeah, you can go inside and you guys can look around. You can make investigation checks, and I guess you guys can sort of you can tell me sort of where you're looking, what you're looking at, how thoroughly are you trying to search this room? Are you trying to be respectful of his stuff? Or are you just trying to see okay, what's in here?
I'm going for respectful. Just a quick glance around. If I were gonna hide something, how would I hide it in this room? I'm going to work with the foot locker and then under the foot locker in case there's a loose board or something.
Okay. So what's everybody who's doing any active searching? What's your guys' investigations?
If
18.
you're already
18.
If you're already looking under the bed, I'll look at the desk. I rolled an 8.
Okay.
Mine was a 20, not natural.
Okay.
I'm sort of looking through whatever I can look through. More just trying to do it, not necessarily like being respectful, but doing it neatly.
Okay. Sure. And are you just hanging out, or are you just kind of searching around too?
Well, I rolled a 1 + 2.
Cool. All right.
So I'm going to stand in the kitchen
Kel bumps
and
his
be
head on the door
uncomfortable
frame.
with how
right?
dirty it is.
Yeah, all right. So Kel,
Kel's doing dishes.
Kel doesn't want to touch stuff.
No, I don't want to touch anything.
So it's not.
I'm gonna shut the door behind me as well.
Okay. So you guys close the door. It's
I'm
not
claustrophobic.
necessarily. It's not necessarily dirty in here. It's fairly Spartan. There is very little in this chamber. It does not look like Harken is a person who owns a lot of things. And what he does own, he didn't make his bed clearly, but there's not like plates of food and like shit everywhere. The room is fairly barren. You like almost wouldn't think somebody like lived here permanently. But as you guys look around, so you open that chest. It contains little of interest. There's a couple of sets of like spare sets of clothing in there. There's just a kind of a normal folding knife.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of books in there. As you kind of like look at them quickly, they're just like cheap paperback like fiction novels that appear to be part of a mystery series. And then there's like a few other bits of like miscellaneous.
Shield.
Nula, even with your 8, you don't have to roll. You don't have to roll very high because, like, right on the table, there's one thing, and it is a scrap of paper. And that scrap of paper has 2 lines of text written on it, scrawled in like an untidy handwriting. The lines of text read: "The harpsichord, mud bottom." And the second line of text says, in quotations, "Ask for the Darkman's Glimmer Ale." And then there is a question mark written.
Mud bottom?
The harpsichord, mud bottom.
For the...
Ask for the Darkman's Glimmer Ale. And that's in quotation marks, and then there's a question mark written at the end of it. Brahm, couple of things as you're kind of moving about. As you go through the chest and then like shift the chest aside and kind of like you're feeling under the chest, you don't notice anything. And as they're kind of doing this, Brahm, you notice the there's not much of interest like in the pantry. There's like a little bit of like dried meat, salt, a bit of like cheese wrapped in cloth. That's it really. But as you are kind of moving your way like just around the room, like kind of make your way around Nula, who's like, you see she's picked something up. Alar is in the process of like moving the chest aside to kind of like look under it. And you sort of step over near the bed. And you feel the like millimeter movement of a floorboard right near the bed that you step on like shifts a bit, and it kind of like draws your attention. You look down, as if you had like kind of stepped somewhere a little uneven all of a sudden, and you kind of like move your foot, and there's a loose floorboard. Most like it's under the bed, but about like this much of it sticks out from like where the edge of the bed is, and you just like happened to walk across it.
Aha! The game is afoot. But
What's on your foot?
There's loose floorboard.
That's where it is. Okay.
So I lean down and go to lift the floorboard.
Okay. Did you read this note out loud to anybody, or you just kept it yourself so far?
I was about to
address
it. What do you think this means?
Harpsichord, mud bottom, ask for... Sounds like another bar.
I will say I'm pretty sure you speak Thieves' Cant, right?
I do.
Darkman's Glimmer is Thieves' Cant. You recognize it immediately as Thieves' Cant. Darkman's Glimmer is Thieves' Cant, which translates would translate in common to Night Fire. Ask for the Night Fire Ale.
Yeah, that means night fire.
Yeah.
Nightfire.
Yeah,
It's
a thing.
What is it?
Never had that in particular ale before, but it's I imagine that it's probably not a good sign.
Essentially, that's a code word.
Yeah.
She is not
Are you trying to pull one over on us?
No!
Again?
I'd rather it stay that way.
No, we don't have the time to explain how we know this. It's a long story.
All right. So
Floorboard?
floorboard.
Yeah.
You lift the floorboard.
Ah! Oh, no. Just kidding.
The majority of that loose floorboard is beneath the bed, but as you kind of lift it up and move it to the side, there is a small hollow space inside. And in that space, there is a box about the size of a hat box. Beep. Beep.
Lift the box out. Open the
The
box
trap
out.
goes off and you die! No.
That's when all the bombs explode.
That's right. The booby trap has been triggered. You take the...
Spikes come out of the wall.
You take the box out. It is a simple, unadorned. There's no features on it anywhere. You kind of turn it over. You hear there's some stuff inside that kind of rattles around a little bit. But other than that, it just looks completely ordinary.
Lift the lid off the box.
Okay, you lift the lid off the box. Inside, as you start going through, there are the following things. The thing that rattled when you were moving it, there is a simple gold band, a ring. There are another thing that was rattling around. There is a carved wooden whistle. There is a pouch that has, you kind of open up, has some gold in it. I don't know how, if you're well, let me count this. There is some gold in a pouch. And then there's some papers. There's some paperwork. Some, various
I'm going to start with
types.
the paperwork.
Okay.
I'd like to take a closer look in the band real fast, see if there's an inscription.
You can
on
make
it.
an inspection. An inspection? Perception.
Make an inspection.
Investigation? What am I? What? Roll some dice. I don't know.
Either way, it's +8, so that's a 26.
It is very simple, plain golden band. Doesn't seem fancy in any way.
And I just wanted to see if there was, to my darling wife or my...
Nothing like that. No,
Okay.
plain. What you pull out, so
Step back in.
there's 3 separate things in this little bundle of papers. One is a certificate of marriage between one Lucius Harken and one Cordelia Slattery. There is then a certificate of death for one Cordelia Harken, dated 4 Kythorn 1080, which is 12 years ago from the present date. The final bit of paper is a parchment envelope which has been folded over, and as you open it up, it appears to be a quickly copied case file. The initial details list one Anton Emmerin as taking out a contract with Chimera Palta for the location and safe return of one Eleanor Amarin. The contract was delivered from Nistrin, Volan's capital. Well, you guys know that. Then below that, there appear to be what you assume are Harken's case notes that he made during his investigation while he was still with Chimera Palta, but they're written in some sort of a shorthand that makes it's nonsense to you. It doesn't mean anything that you can decipher from reading it. And that's all that's in there. You get the impression that this is not like the original of this. It looks like it was very quickly like this information was like copied down, and then like he took this with him maybe when he was fired, something like that. But he had it folded up in this box beneath his bed, and that is all that is in that box.
I'm going to take the case file sheet and put the other stuff back in the box. Put the box back in that thing and cover it back up.
Okay.
What'd you find, Rob?
Well, first things first, he's got a dead wife.
Aww.
And second thing is, this looks to be a case file that he copied. So I'm assuming this is what he was investigating. I'll hand it over to Kel.
Does the contract say if Eleanor is a daughter, wife?
It just says the location and safe return of one Eleanor Amaran.
Did you check what the death certificate said?
The death, his wife's name is different from.
Did it say how she died?
I don't think so, right?
It just says like there's just like a natural causes thing signed by like the city court.
Not anything specific. Whatever natural causes this town thinks is.
Did it look like the ring was a woman's ring or a man's ring?
The ring looked like a man's ring.
So I think the wife maybe just this is where he keeps his wife stuff as well as his.
Well,
This isn't mine. This is where he keeps his pride.
Yeah, I don't know that the wife has anything to do with the case.
I mean, if you were going to ask me what might make someone go off the deep end, they suspected something happened with their wife.
She died, what, 12
Something
years ago?
similar.
12
She
years
died
ago.
12
12
years
years
ago.
ago.
So,
I mean, presumably you guys have been into things for more than the last, 9 weeks that I've known you.
true.
Just something to
What
keep in
was
mind.
his name?
His first name
Lucius.
Lucius Harken,
And he married.
and his wife was Cordelia.
What a bad
Cordelia.
guy sounding name. Well, this sheet is all we have to go on now.
That note. I have that note.
And your note.
Say we wait until tomorrow, see if that Niles fellow comes back, see if he can shed some light on just where the harpsichord is in Mud Bottom. Because I'm willing to bet that note has something to do with that case.
Do we want to wait until tomorrow?
I
If
mean,
we're waiting until tomorrow, it's probably waiting until tomorrow evening.
We don't have anything better to do tonight.
Yeah, I said we maybe go straight there.
We could also try to get in touch with Anton.
wait, the case file came from where?
I assume he copied it from the case file at the main office.
I'll look it over real fast. The request came from Nistrom. That's capital of Milan.
I
That's
mean, we don't have a whole lot to go on here.
I mean, do you want to start walking around the city yelling Anton Amaran at the top of your lungs? That's probably not the best idea.
Or we
I mean,
could-
that's not what I said at all. That would be a terrible idea.
we could go to the harp.
We've done dumber things. We want to play about the No Mores.
Like what? Yeah, but that is going to win Oscars. You wait.
I didn't say it wasn't a great
Who's
production.
Oscar?
The guy whose taco cart we used.
You guys still in the apartment?
Yeah.
The tacos
Alright,
are
let's go.
burritos.
The burritos. Whatever.
So yeah, they're still so you've been down on the street for like 10-15 minutes at this point. As they went into the apartment, and it's quiet on the street.
And it's quiet up there.
It's quiet up there.
All right. Well, I mean, we can try heading to Mud Bottom and see if we can find the harpsichord.
Should we leave the?
I mean, we could check in at the Oak and Grain, see if they could point us in the right direction.
We may not want to involve too many people yet.
Is it
Yeah.
involving people for asking for directions to something?
Asking for directions at one bar to directions for another bar.
He may not be too happy with that.
Yeah, but they sent you to find him.
They also said that they hoped he didn't find a new bar. But maybe that bartender knows something about the drink. The, Darkman's Glimmer?
Yeah, I think our best bet is to go to that bar.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we can find it.
Alright, so back to the Oak and Grain.
Maybe.
All right.
I mean, we can wait for Niles, but that's tomorrow. Just talk to Walter. There's no reason for us to continue to be here. Do we want to leave a note for Harken in case he comes back?
Probably not, because in case somebody else comes here, that's not
I
him.
mean, no one's been here for weeks.
That doesn't mean that no one will be here.
If he's not dead, people may still be looking for him.
In worst case, if he does return here, we know this place. We can come back to it. See him.
What if we leave the beer? Then I'll know someone was here.
Possibly, but just leaving the beer behind, there's no marking on it whatsoever.
He read a note from his friend at the Oak and Grain.
That's oblique enough, and then nobody would be able to immediately connect it to us. Why not? Quick, if there's a piece of parchment, I tear off a little corner and write from Boris and leave it.
Sure.
You can just tear off the corner of his wife's death certificate.
No! Put that away! I'm not you!
Boy, join us this week on Tabletop Legends while we defile a man's sacred possessions. Easy enough. You leave your beer.
Next week, we just defile a man.
You leave a small note that says from Boris. You're just putting that on the table there.
Yeah.
So you're taking the file with you, case file, and you're taking his note with you. Or are you leaving the note?
I'll leave the note.
Okay. You leave the note. You do take that case file, I assume.
Although we don't want anybody else to find that. If he wrote it, he knows about it, so we should probably
take it with us.
He's been on this for 3 months, and this stuff is untouched.
That doesn't mean that someone may not.
Doesn't mean if anybody finds out where somebody's maybe asking questions about him, they're gonna start poking around.
Do you think they would have started sooner?
We haven't started asking questions till
Yes,
now.
we are incompetent.
We also just arrived.
I feel like the cold
Right.
pinprick of somebody
So-
talking about me, like as saying
So other
these
people
things.
have had way more opportunities.
Take the note, Nula. Let's go.
Nula takes the note. You're taking the case file.
Yes.
You leave your beer.
Yes.
And you're heading back to the Oak and Grain.
Yep.
Yes?
Yep, we pick up Walter along the way.
Okay.
And explain what we found.
We found a note.
Excellent. What does it mean?
Oh.
Have we gone all this time without realizing Walter can't read?
I'm actually not proficient in common. It's been a ruse this entire time.
It's just stringing together random syllables.
No, he
He
speaks.
just has a really high charisma stat.
He reads and writes legalese very well. It's just common. He doesn't
He's been
do well.
speaking literal gibberish the whole time, and every time we just go, "Yep, right, good point, Walter."
I am Sir Barrington.
That's right. You realize that Walter has been an ocelot this entire time. He's 6 meerkats in a tall robe.
With a shovel.
With a shovel. Okay, easy enough. You walk back to the Oak and Grain, which has filled up a decent amount since you last left. It's been 30, 40 minutes or so. The sun is pretty well down. Just kind of the last vestiges of twilight are still in the sky above as you enter in. So at this point, there's tap rooms. Like, it's still only about half full. There's maybe 15, 20 people at the tables in here, or at the bar, kind of standing around in small groups. Most of the people you see are just in plain clothing, but there's definitely a handful of peacekeeper uniforms present. You see primarily the blue, gold, and orange that you recognize as Chimera Palta among the peacekeepers that are present. There's a couple of others that you see. You see a woman in the red and orange that you have learned is the Valkos uniform. Let's see, red and orange of the Valkos Protectorate, and green and silver. Still not the same folks as before, but a couple of other people in green and silver, and then a person in purple and yellow, but not the same guy as before. Those two guys are gone. There are a few barmaids moving around the room, serving drinks and food. Behind the bar now is there's two folks behind the bar now. Same. Boris is still back there, and then a younger individual who looks like he might be like Boris's son. They bear kind of a decent resemblance, and it is kind of busy enough that like nobody really pays you guys mind as you enter. Are all of you going in at this point, or is anybody like staking out the street again?
I'll go on.
I put on my cop mustache again.
You put your cop mustache on. All right.
You know what? We'll stay outside because we don't want all the cops to know that we're still on the place.
Okay, so you're hanging out outside.
Yeah.
And Kel's hanging outside.
I will stay outside.
Okay, so you guys kind of hang out
But
outside.
I will give the
Okay.
All right. So you put on a fake mustache. You already have a mustache. So Turner and Hooch walk into the bar.
Yeah, I got the mustache.
Followed by Alar.
Aviators and like a leather jacket, like a brown leather jacket.
All right. So you roll up in there, and nobody really pays you guys any mind. It's busy enough now that you go kind of unnoticed, and you're just sort of in the tap room. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna go to the bar.
Alrighty.
Take a seat beside him.
You walk up, and after a couple of moments, Boris kind of notices. Ah, you're back! Wasn't your mustache a different color when you were in here like an hour ago?
No.
Yeah, all right. I guess that's true. That would be ridiculous if you had two different colored mustaches. What kind of a maniac would walk around with a bunch of fake mustaches in different colors for like different occasions? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
You go to Harken's place?
Real tempted to sleight of hand like a different mustache on. I'm gonna blow the rule. Why not?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my god.
That would be a 21 for
Alrighty.
mustachery.
Okay.
Yeah.
He says, "You gents go over to Harken's place."
He wasn't there.
Oh.
It didn't look like he'd been there for a while,
Oh.
but not as long as.
That mustache spit on your face? 'Cause that looks like it's been there for quite some time.
Yes.
If I had to guess.
I had this since I was a child.
I had a cousin who was born with a condition similar to that, where he grew a full beard at 7 months.
Yeah. I came out and the doctor was like, "Man, I'm sorry, but your son is too manly. He's got a mustache already."
It's dwarfism, right?
Jesus Christ, Walter.
Walter, that's racist. And
I
need you to-
glance around to see if there are any dwarves, and I just suddenly just go,
There's no dwarves.
Walter, that is not only racist in this world, it's racist in other planes of reality too. Offensive to everyone. I forgot whatever my cop voice was. Really.
It was similar to his voice.
Yeah, whatever. Are you a co-op?
See.
No, I'm cool.
I'm not a co-op.
So you said he's not been there for some time.
No, he's not been there.
All right, JFK. Calm down.
I was thinking more of Mayor Quimby.
Oh my god.
I was doing The Departed. Are you a co-op?
Oh god.
Not a co-op.
That's
Good thing this is at a cop bar. We're not
That's
being
real,
at all suspicious right now.
Hey, shut up.
That's real worrisome.
You with a weak
Yeah,
mustache.
we're concerned about it too. Professional pride aside, you know the surroundings a little bit. You heard of a place called the Harpsichord?
Probably in Mud Bottom.
He thinks for a second and he goes, "Professional pride, eh?" He says, "Well, they don't exactly serve the same fare at the Harpsichord as we serve here.
I didn't think so.
Not a cop bar.
Well, they're not an alcohol bar." He just doesn't
Well,
So then Walter's kind of bar.
Walter just like,
He says
I'm a wife,
he says
sir.
it's a flop house.
That's why you go to those places.
Serves it's in Mud Bottom by the
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's worse.
the main. It's not a nice establishment.
I
It's by the main routes of a lot of the like riverboat sailing folks get cheap rooms there, and then other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God Nula didn't come in the bar.
Oh, thank God.
I gotta be honest, this conversation took a real weird turn. I'm very concerned about my friend, and I don't know how I feel that we've shifted directions into you asking me for a place to get it in.
We have reason to believe that he might have gone there or might have planned to go there.
Which, now that we know what it is,
It makes it.
may or may not have been a clue after all.
I don't know that I
And it
wanted to.
makes me real curious and really afraid to ask of whatever the fuck this thing is gonna turn out to be.
Yeah,
This place.
I wish I didn't know that about Harken.
I'm
That's
sorry.
very upsetting.
I don't want to have to.
Darkman's
Nightfire.
glimmer.
This does
Well,
not say that.
Nula
Yeah.
transcribed it, so it's clearly not going to be correct.
This reads Darwin's Glamour.
It's Darkman's Glimmer.
Darkman's Glimmer. He says, "Well, Darwin's Glamour is a shot that we serve here. I don't know what
Evolution is a lie. It was all just Darwin's Glamour the whole time.
At this point, I plunk down some coin. I'll take a Darwin's Glamour.
He
The enlightening blue.
he says, I don't know what that is. That's not any type of thing I'm familiar with.
No. Thank God you're not.
Well, I suppose that's true.
If only we could be so lucky.
You hear that, Martha? I don't know what that is. My wife, she can hear everything.
They have that power. It's a magic that will not die from this
I
world.
swear to God, she can throw a shoe and hit you from around the corner. The woman's a witch.
I'm just gonna slide him like 2 copper, just like with a knowing nod.
He says, "Well, frankly, this whole conversation has been much more upsetting than I thought it was going to be.
Join the club.
But I guess, I mean, I know sort of where that place is if you're trying to go there still. Look into it.
I guess.
Yeah, we're kind of committed at this point.
We can just assume that he was following up on a lead there, and that's where things are going.
Yeah,
And we can pretend none of the other conversation happened.
I would like
And you
to.
can think of your friend as a good and upstanding citizen.
I'm holding firm hope that you come back here and tell me that this was all some part of a very noble plot that he was holding. You're outside. You stop it.
All I heard was her whisper, "Firm."
That's all.
And that was.
That's all I heard. Too, was her go firm.
Oh, I thought you said firm.
No, she
firm
said.
is.
He said, "I firmly hope,"
Oh.
and then she went "firm."
You're a paladin.
Like
for
a
Christ's sake.
fourth grader.
She's a paladin that has literally nothing else to do but ship random people. So yes, I imagine
It's not random, they're lifetime friends.
Don't you start.
He says, yeah. So if you head back over the bridge, from here you want to head.
I don't know that one.
Hey!
I'm glad that
keep
she
out of this.
doesn't.
Keep out of this, Sally the barmaid. We're having a conversation. You're too young for this.
So we're going here.
Too young for this, but not young enough to be the
Yeah, so he
barmaid.
describes to you a location that is about here. Very close to where you were indicating.
Cool.
I down my Darwin's glimmer. Glamour.
It tastes like it might. It tastes like
We're
it
gonna
might
find that
kill you
later.
if you didn't have favorable genetics.
I say, and there's a little gout of fire.
That was the official worst joke of Tabletop Legends
I didn't even hear it.
ever.
It's for the best.
Yeah, you could watch
You
I'll
can
watch
rewind
it back
it
later.
We have the microphones now. You can rewind it.
We
We have that horrible
We
thing
have
that
the
just
audio of whatever that
It's-
garbage was.
However long it takes you to do it is too long, and it's not worth it.
Mark the time code on this one.
Christ.
Hour and 20 minutes in. I can find it later.
It's not going to be worth it.
Oh, you're just making him want that more.
Alrighty, so
I
he
leave
gives you
some coins.
directions, and he has to get back to his other patrons. So he kind of leaves.
All right,
leaves
see you later.
be.
Tell your wife. I said nothing because it'd be weird. She doesn't know who I am. Never mind.
Take your wife and said hi.
All right, and he looks at your mustache again for a second. He's like, yeah, okay.
I'm 3/4 out the door.
I lean over to Walter on the way. His wife did my mustache.
As you're walking out from like somewhere on the second story of the building, you hear, "Don't talk about me like that."
I'm gonna like put my shovel up to like block from shoes.
I quicken my steps as I'm out the door. I come out the door.
Did you become part dragon?
No, but that was a hell of a drink.
Is it one I should try?
No.
We don't have the collective strength to drag you around.
Yeah,
Well, we're going to another bar, right?
No.
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 You're not going anywhere.
No.
Why not?
It is not an establishment
It's not a
for you.
bar that sells alcohol.
What kind of bar is it?
Well,
Is it like a metal bar?
when a mommy
It's less
and
of
a
a bar,
daddy,
more of a rod.
when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, they don't produce the kind of people that go to these
Gaylor
places.
just finds the nearest wall and just starts.
This episode's gone real off the rails.
You're the one who made it a fucking whorehouse.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm weaving a rich tapestry of words.
Of course. Was blacked out there for a moment.
Zula, how do I put it? It's a house of ill repute.
Huh.
You understand what that means, right?
You know that low tide smell right now?
The gesture the bartender did.
It's gonna be worse there. Probably.
You can hold my nose.
That's not gonna help.
Anyway, it's fine.
Do we think we're gonna get information there or not?
Yes.
All right,
Possibly.
then let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Well,
I don't know which of the two of them is going to handle it worse.
lean in. 2 copper on the nose. Scooter. Scooter, holding on to the coin.
Okay.
Off we go.
Yep.
Off we go.
Off we go.
Weaving a rich tapestry of horror.
That's right. So, off you go. Yep, we're not doing. I haven't been doing episode names anymore since we started doing the
That's right, this
the
one.
segments because I've been doing like part 1, part 2 of the things. But
Wow, that's Olive. I thought Adam was getting handsy.
No, I was trying to scritch her. I may have touched you. I apologize.
so the Harpsichord, a flop house for riverboat sailors that does a brisk business as a brothel on the side. You
And on the front and
get
back.
these sort of get these sort of rough
The available
location of it. The place is tiny, out of the way, and in a section of mud bottom that is particularly dingy. Your trip there is
So particularly dingy for mud bottom.
dingy for mud bottom.
Oh, God.
And mud bottom itself, as you sort of pass through the bowels of it, is very like. It's definitely like keep your hand on your purse. Don't get too close to anybody. Don't get within like knifing distance.
You never get within knife
There's
distance.
there's like homeless people kind of just strewn about. You sort of are accosted by requests for coin and
I'm keeping like a
assistance and
handful
things
of
like
like
that.
copper pieces in my like inner jacket pocket, just so like in case we get accosted by too much.
Okay.
Just throw it in a direction away from us. And
nobody gives you too much trouble. But it's like walking through a crummy part of New York.
oh, the smell!
It's
This is why they call it mud bottom.
it luckily still doesn't smell terrible because the coal is keeping the stink down. You're pretty sure, but it looks like the type of place that will smell terrible when the weather warms up. But the harpsichord itself is tiny, out of the way, in a section of mud bottom that is particularly dingy. Like many buildings in this low-lying portion of Odrikholme, the main entrance to the building is up a flight of steps to what is technically the second floor. As you approach, you can see that there are two large windows dominating the front of the building. Though they are so dirty, it is difficult to make out much more than indistinct shapes and a ruddy reddish light from within.
Of course, it's got a red light.
You want to send Noel in first? We can watch the back door.
So it's from where you are. It's like
Don't say that.
Don't say back door in mud bottom.
it's there's not really access to like go around the building. It's just like in
just,
between.
Like, here's
it's
the
like
door.
a set of like a row building.
Gotcha.
So it's just like the front of the establishment here. So you guys are like street level. There is like the base floor of this, which is just like brick and stone and doesn't have like a door or any features from this level. And then like up a level on like stilts, there's like a porch type of thing, and the actual entrance to the building is on the second story of the building.
Gotcha. So you said that letter seemed to be in code of some kind.
The letter had the name of this establishment and said to ask for the Darkman's
Glimmer Ale, which
And what was it?
Night Fire.
And so like they understand that it was Thieves' Cant.
They understand that Darkman's Glimmer is Thieves' Cant. That doesn't give there's no indication on the paper as to whether they should translate that in their request, or if they're supposed to say like it was in quotations Darkman's Glimmer Ale, as if like this is the specific thing you're supposed to say or ask for. But they do know that it's Thieves' Cant, and they like understand what the common vernacular of those words are.
One of you two should probably be the ones to knock on the door. We should definitely not let them out.
So what are we asking for here?
Well, we can. My thought is this: we can do things two ways. We can pretend to be people that know about the secret passcode to get into the information we need and deceive our way through, or we can paladin first and hope that we can honest our way through.
That's terrible.
I would like to take out my book.
You take
Ask
out your book.
if it knows what a Darkman's Glimmer is.
Okay.
Darkman's Glimmer Ale.
It says, never heard of it. Sounds terrible.
What about, is it Lonefire? Darkfire?
I don't
Shadowfire?
remember.
Night Fire.
I don't
Nightfire.
understand the translation.
What about Nightfire Ale?
It says, sounds like a drink invented by a 14-year-old.
You're not wrong, but you're profoundly unhelpful.
It's just like, you're watching the paper and you just see like. That probably didn't look like anything to the camera. The piece of paper just went.
Why are you talking to that book?
I'm not talking to it. I'm writing in it.
I'm gonna fish out my little spinny light tube and see if I can steal some of that light.
Okay. Yeah, so you capture a little bit of ambient light for like mechanical purposes. You can capture dim light.
Okay.
Because it's nighttime at this point. The sun is gone. There's a little bit of ring light coming from the sky. A little bit of like light off of the the facade of this building. So you basically collect like what is the equivalent of dim illumination.
And I will put it back in my.
Okay.
You or me?
I'll do it.
All right. I'll back you.
So you kind of like you knock on the door, but it is immediately apparent that this is not like
Just go in.
this is like there's like a lobby or something like some sort beyond this. Is not like a knock on the door to somebody's house.
Push the door open.
Okay. So you open the door. The lobby of this establishment is gaudy. It is decorated with terribly clashing wallpaper, which is dirty and peeling, and adorned with all manner of like plush couches and armchairs and like tables and chaise lounges all over the place. There are heavy curtains and tapestries draped from the ceiling, and a pair of flameless lanterns prove to be the source of the red light. The room is decorated as if to be some sort of like a luxurious parlor where clientele could ostensibly mingle with one another and the courtesans, though all of the furniture is badly aged and the place seems filthy.
Probably for the best. Kill didn't come in.
I assume you guys are just like, you're all just like, Brom has opened the door. You're like looking into this lobby at this point. Unless anybody is
probably
like,
can't see.
unless
them,
anybody is like decidedly
anything.
down on the street. This is what you see when Brom opens the door.
Oh. Charming atmosphere.
That's one word for it.
It's a cool red light.
You just keep looking at that red light.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
I will enter the
I am
establishment.
quietly wondering whether I'm going to a level of the pit for potentially corrupting a paladin by bringing her into this establishment.
Alright. Anybody not coming inside?
And I'm following after him.
This is your last chance to not come inside.
I am absolutely gonna wait outside and keep an eye out for. I assume I can tell how big the building is. Like it's
not. It's hard to tell like depth wise, but like width wise, it's not all that all that wide. And it is like a number of stories tall. It's like there's the base, like the bottom level, and then there's like level 2, which is the level you guys are entering on, and then there's 2 more levels above that.
There's too many levels. All right, I'm
and
gonna.
it looks like there's probably 5-6 windows across. It's narrow, but you're not sure how deep it is. And it's kind of tall.
I was just worried because the message, if I don't see them, it's lost to be within 30 feet. So I wanted to make sure, like, if something happened outside, I could just like message, even as long as I know the person.
As long as you are like, if you're on that like patio out front on like the second level there, and if they're like in that lobby, that they're probably close enough to reach still.
Nah, I'm just gonna
If they,
I'm just gonna go in.
okay, all right. So
I guess
everyone
everybody's
inside.
Unless
Shuffle in,
someone
kids, and
gives me a
buckle up.
reason not to.
All right, so you guys enter into this this building. As you make your way in, you're able to kind of see either side around the door. There is a reception desk area off to one side. There is a kind of a ragged-looking older woman sitting behind it. She doesn't even look up in your guys' direction as you walk in. She looks like she's like reading a book or something on her table. Behind her and to the right, there's a staircase that ascends to the higher levels of the establishment. A door to her left, on like further wall away leads down to the lower level of the building, you assume. And like directly behind her, behind this desk, there is like an open door frame with no door in it, and you see like a little tiny, very cramped, very messy like office behind there. So you guys kind of make your way in. She's sitting behind this desk. She's, for all the world, looks like she like has not even noticed you or doesn't care that you're here.
Is there a bell on the desk?
No.
Do you have minor illusion? Can you make a bell sound?
How's it going?
She looks up. Can I help you?
Yeah, I hope you can.
Okay, what do you want?
Are you in charge of this fine establishment?
She like looks around at the places you say this is. If you're looking for a room, I'm here. If you're looking for other things, that can be arranged.
I'm looking for some other things. Looking for a Darkman's Glimmer.
I'm gonna cast message and be like, ale.
Darkman's Glimmer Ale. Sorry.
She does stare at you for a beat, and she says, "Pardon me."
What the fuck was it?
Nightfire.
A Nightfire Ale.
She sets the book down. And she says, "I see." One moment. And she gets up and she walks over behind her through that open doorway and goes like, kind of disappears around the corner in that little office for like 5-6 seconds. And she comes back. And she comes and she sits back down kind of behind her desk. And she looks at you and she says, "Just a moment. You can make yourselves comfortable."
Pretty sure we can.
We will try our best.
I will find a convenient portion of wall to lean against.
Okay.
I don't want to touch the walls.
I will. Yeah, I'll just
going to
walk.
I'm just like-
one of the chairs
Okay.
I'll walk
to
over
clean it.
to like where the chairs are, but not sit on it.
Okay, that's fine.
Just like scraping my booties off with my shovel.
What is everybody's passive perceptions?
18.
Okay.
Oh boy.
17.
No.
No, 11. Wrong number.
12.
Okay.
12.
Okay. Alar.
Mhm.
You are the only one who is not surprised. As you see, as you guys like kind of move back and move to your places in the room, the woman is like watching you guys quite intently. And one of your ears kind of like pricks as you think you hear something that sounds maybe like a footfall on a step coming from that door that you pretty sure went to like the lower level.
Mhm.
And as you like hear that and kind of tilt your head, you see she like leans forward a little bit and she looks like she's reaching for something under the desk. And so you are the only one who like gets this split second of like spidey sense forewarning, as what happens is the door to that lower level like bursts open and a bunch of guys come running out, armed with you see crossbows come up as like guys start coming out of this door, and that lady comes up from under the desk. A hand crossbow comes out, and I need everybody to roll initiative.
Can we tell if they're wearing the Chimera Palta clothes?
They are definitely not. Hopefully this doesn't sound terrible on the stream. The audience can tell us if it does, but like...
Also, feedback from the microphones, please. Can you hear all of us clearly?
Hey.
Oh, wait, yeah. I'm looking at the
Probably super copyrighted.
It's parody.
Is it
I declare parody.
Go ahead and pull the map there up. I'll give you guys some terrain to work
I was
in
saying,
here.
this is how spoiled we are. Like, I 100% thought you already had the terrain prepared there. It's like, good, pull the map out, and it's like, oh, the terrain's already
There
done.
it is. No, this is not something that I'm...
Oh, that pile of guys right there is.
That's the pile of guys is for this.
Great. Somewhere, I cannot remember his name. It's saying, "Get me everybody." But boss, everybody.
Okay, so we're gonna say that here's the desk.
Okay.
We'll put a person here. She's behind the desk. Staircase here behind her. A little office here behind her. And the dudes are coming out of here. So you guys can kind of put yourselves sort of within here. These couches and stuff and tables can be used for like a partial cover.
I was leaning against the wall so that.
Where do you want to go?
I would have been like away from walls, so like towards. I guess. You know what? Yeah, it's fine. I would literally did not want to be near anything. Morgan is actually AFK in her happy place.
She's upstairs. Upstairs of this place.
I don't know if there's a bird whorehouse.
Okay.
An aviary of ass, if you please.
It's the assiary.
It's ass. There you go. That should have been the episode title.
Never.
We're birds of a feather mingled together.
Don't mind. Makes it worse.
Like, I feel like we're being mean to Becca every single time, but it's like you're like you're red. You're not even pink anymore.
You bring it on yourself.
That's what she does.
That's...
What?
It's a little loud.
11 whole years in this infested cell. God, is that Oblivion or was that? What was it?
Alrighty, initiatives 25 to 20.
20.
20, Kel. 19 to 15.
18.
19, Alar. 15. What you got, Walter and Brom?
11.
6.
Oh.
Oh, you found the ladies list? Flipping through it, nothing. That's literally the worst part of Vegas. Just people being like, hey, here's a list of people you can buy. Every street corner. You want ladies? So when you were describing this building, I 100% thought of the Count's Customs like lobby. I don't know if you know what that is now.
I thought of the bordello from Fed Lost Chapters.
It's all of those things. That's the beauty of your imagination. So, here we go. So, Alar, you were the only one not of the party not surprised in this round, which actually means you go first.
All Alright, those 5 guys charge out. I'm gonna pull out my hand crossbow and we'll shoot at the first of the group.
Okie dokie. Which one? The...
We'll do the dude with the hat and the torch. And
Okay.
he's about to have a very bad day because I rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
He's not surprised though, so it is not a sneak attack, unfortunately. Possibly fortunately for him though. Let's see, so that is a 2d6 plus 3.
That is a 5.
Yay! So that is 14 points of piercing damage.
14 points of damage to Hat. Okay. So you kind of give a shout as they like jackboot their way
Incoming!
through the door. And the first crossbow flies across the room and strikes into one of the first individuals to charge out of the door. As they come running out and rush into the room, you see 2 of them. They are all wearing dark clothing. The 2 of them, the one that you shot, and the one next to him there, closer to Becca, this guy. They are both. I should have taken a look to see how this looks on stream. If everybody can see it, it's actually pretty good.
We can slide this.
Slide that towards you a little bit more, yeah, so that you guys can see everything.
Notes.
Cool. That was good. They're wearing like dark leathers. They have sort of like cowls with face masks. You can only see like their eyes. The 2 behind them as they come up, this one and this one, are wearing similarly dark clothing. Their faces are covered. They're wearing more like loose fitting, not quite robes, but like kind of flowy cloth outfits.
Damn.
And the remaining one, as they come up, they're wearing. There's actually a little bit of like looks like hardened leather. There's a little bit of metal in their outfit, and you see as they come up the staircase, they like unwrap and pull out. They have this length of like spiked chain in their hands.
Good. I draw a crossbow and draw my rapier and move up a little bit.
Okay. So, Alar, Nula is surprised. Okay, so these 2 go. So go ahead and that one and that one both come over like here and here, and they basically take they like crouch down behind this couch, and they take some shots with their crossbows. One fires at Kel, and one fires at Walter, since they're the 2 closest. So against Kel, that is going to be a 16 to hit.
Yup.
And against Walter is only a 13 to hit.
Miss.
Okay. So the crossbow bolt kind of like flies wide of you. You hear it like into a piece of tapestry somewhere behind you. But Kel, you are going to take... you take 4 points of piercing damage as a crossbow bolt sinks into you. From the blue one with the sword out. The next person to react is that person with the chain. You see they pull out that chain. It's the other one. That one. And they start they're like rushing into the room, so they're gonna move 30 feet. They like start running forward, and as you see, they like kind of are charging at the trio of you. They get to about there, and you see this person like sort of jumps up off the ground and then like disappears. And a fraction of a second later reappears right in between the three of all of you. And they're going to make 3 attacks, one against each of you. As this person just like, poof, Nightcrawler bamps back into existence and starts like whipping this chain back and forth at each of you guys. So Brahm, that's only a 11.
Does not hit.
Walter, that's a 19 plus something, so that hits. And Alar, 15.
That hits.
Okay.
Uncanny dodge.
Okay, so Walter and Alar, you will both be hit. You, Walter, you are going to take 7 piercing damage, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. Alar, you will take 9, halved for your uncanny dodge. And you also need to make a dex throw.
I got 13.
13, okay.
23.
Alright, so you're fine, Alar. Walter, he hits you with this chain, and the force of it as, like, the weight of it hits into you, and these spikes, like, dig through your clothing and your armor and, like, press into you. It just knocks you off your feet, and you fall prone. Brahm is surprised still. Oh no. Walter is surprised still. Now these two guys go. They move. One of them is going to dash over behind the desk with the lady. Yep. And the other one moves. The other one will move 30 in this direction, like towards this other couch. He can only get about equal with Kel. And he'll take a crossbow shot at Kel as he's like running to take cover behind this other couch. That's a 5. Plus probably not enough to hit you. No, so he will not hit you.
How much is it?
10.
That's close.
Yeah. So he does not hit you. No, I'm sorry, it's 11. Does that hit you?
That's 1 short.
Okay, I didn't think it hit. It's 11. He's got a plus 6 to hit. Okay. So he dashes, he runs and shoots at Kel but misses. The lady behind the thing there fires her hand crossbow at Alar and misses. And that brings us back to the top of the order. You guys are no longer surprised, so Kel, you are the first to react this round.
Going to stumble this way
Okay.
and look over at her. I don't know what we just got ourselves into. If you do not calm things down, I will intentionally or not set your building on fire.
You see that turn?
Yes.
Okay. You can make a persuasion or intimidation.
I'm going to use the d20
Okay.
for a 26 persuasion.
Okay. We'll see what happens on her turn.
Yep.
Ayla, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Booming Blade and stab Mr. Changai, or try to.
Okay.
Does he... Does a 14 hit him?
Not quite. Damn. So you go to like stab him with your rapier, and he like whips that chain around and like grapples up your blade in it and sort of like flings it to the side, and it goes wide. Anything else?
No.
As Jason knocks the table over. Okay. Then Nula, you're up.
I am going to move ahead 30 feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And cast Ensnaring Strike at first level at this guy.
Alrighty. Is that a roll to hit, or does he have to make a...
I think it's strength of 13. Strain. Target takes 1d6.
Okay, so
Oh,
you don't,
your attack save is 13.
okay, and you don't have to hit him first for him to have to make the save. Okay. So he makes a strength save. He rolls a 7. I don't think it's going to matter what his strength modifier is. It's a 0. So no, he does not save.
Just 1 damage.
Okay, so he takes 1 damage.
But now
He's restrained.
wrapped up. Magical mines.
What's the condition? Restrained or grappled?
Restrained.
Restrained. Okay.
Good.
Alrighty. Cool. Okay. So that anything else?
Nope.
Alrighty. It is the 2 guys behind the couch's turn as they fire crossbows.
Can the guy still fire a crossbow?
Yes, he will be at disadvantage because he's restrained.
Okay.
But they are both going to turn and fire at Nula now that she's like out. She's kind of moved out in the open and she's cast this magic. So the first one with disadvantage, his low roll is a 3, so he misses.
Okay.
And the other one rolls a not much better. I think that's a 12. No, it's a 10, so he misses. All right, so 2 crossbow bolts whiz past you. You hear one of them like buries itself to the couch behind you. The other one sails off and sticks into the back wall of the, or I should say the front wall of the establishment. Which brings us to Chain Guy again. So Chain Guy is going to attack Walter. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to attack 1, 2, 3. So Walter, you're prone still. So he has advantage against you, and it doesn't matter. He misses both times. He rolled a 4 and a 5. So his higher one's an 11, which I do not think hits. Against Alar. 14.
Just hits.
Oh, does hit. Okay, 14. And then against Brahm, he rolls an 18, so you will hit. So Brahm and Alar will both get a hit.
Once again, uncanny dodge.
Alrighty. So Alar damage is 13 piercing. But you can, that's prior to having.
Yeah.
And then make a strength save.
Strength save or dex?
Sorry, dex save.
Okay. 24.
Good enough. You don't fall down. Brahm, you take 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And you are grappled as the chain wraps around you and like pins your arms. And Walter, it is your turn.
Like, all right, dickbag. I'm gonna stand up, and I'm going to cast Vampiric Touch,
Alrighty,
and I'm gonna attack the shit out of this guy with magic hands.
do it.
A 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Oh, nice. Good night, sweet prince. 3d6. 7 plus 6 is 13, and I heal half. So I heal.
Okay, so he takes 13.
I guess I healed the 7 back you just did to me.
Yeah.
Great.
So you like dig your fingers into his like armor, and you feel like the give of flesh beneath, and you suck some of the life force out of this guy. And as you hit him, you hear beneath the hood and the cowl, you hear him go like.
I'm just going just like lean and be like, you shouldn't have fucked with us. And it's my turn.
All right. As you say this, he goes.
It's necrotic.
You have no idea. What?
It's necrotic damage in case that's right.
That doesn't matter. Alrighty. Alright, so these two guys. So this guy is going to make it the rest of the way behind the other couch there. Yeah. That's fine. And he's gonna take a shot at Nula. Actually, let me just double check that this is a... He's not gonna do that. Actually, he's gonna run up to Nula. And he drops his crossbow and pulls a short sword out. And he's gonna make 2 attacks against you with a short sword. The higher one is a 13, so he misses both times. He swings this short sword at you, and you just catch it on your shield.
I don't think I did.
What's your armor class?
It is currently 13.
That's not high enough.
No, your armor class should be like 18 or something stupid.
My achievement. Oh, there we go. We're back up to 18.
Okay.
There you go. Alrighty, so that's what he does, and then the other one who is over there with the lady, he takes a crossbow shot at. He takes a crossbow shot at Alar.
Okay.
That's going to be an 17. So
So that hits.
Okay. And he does... ten points of piercing damage.
That hurt a little bit.
Alrighty. That brings us to Brahm. Brahm, you are currently grappled.
So him getting vampiric touched didn't
No.
break the grapple.
So grapple for your
Fine.
situation here means your speed is 0, so you can't move. You can make a strength save to try and break out of the grapple, but otherwise you are not hindered from like doing your spells or attacking or anything.
Yeah.
But you're grappled by his chain. So, like, don't do what you're thinking about.
About if
Grappled by like an end of his chain, he still definitely has the other end to
that's
swing
what I'm
at
saying.
people.
If he
You don't get the impression that he's like that. Like as long as he's holding you, he can't hit anybody else with his chain.
No, I'm more like, as long as he's holding the thing in general, is it still going to be?
But if you heat metal, you're gonna hurt yourself.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
If he loses grip of this,
then it will probably fall to fall.
so then in that case, I'm going to attempt Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
In an attempt to get him to fall to the ground and let go of his weapon. Or at least release.
What kind of save is it? His dice is a 16.
Let me double.
Charisma? Charisma.
I think.
Pretty sure that's a charisma.
So wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's wisdom.
Plus 0, but he did roll a 16, so the spell is ineffective. As he's continuing to like hang on to this one end with you, while he's got the other kind of length of it in this hand, and attempting to like pry Walter's vampire hand out of his abdomen at the same time. Anything else with your turn?
Nope.
Okie dokie.
Because I assumed the strength check would have been my
So
action,
the
right?
lady, for her turn, she like, the crossbow sort of like wavers in her hand and like she lowers it. You don't get the sense that she's like concerned about you. She's like, oh no, my beloved establishment, so much as she is like very convinced by you were very persuasive in the statement that like I have the ability to burn this building down. She seems to like lose her nerve of like oh I don't like what do I do and she takes no action this turn. She lowers the crossbow and kind of looks to the guy to her right there, kind of like this guy's a magic user. He can burn the place down. Like, what do we do? Type of look. And that's all she does for her turn. And Kelly, is your turn again.
I'm going to cast a spell if this guy does violent things.
Okay. All right, so you hold an action.
Yep.
All right, Alar, you are up.
And then cast Booming Blade again.
Alrighty.
This time that's a 17.
That gets him.
And it's a sneak attack because he's got Walter stuck in his...
He's grappling Brahm, and Walter's got a hand in his gut.
Yep. Yeah.
So close.
Yeah, that's alright. So 6, 11, plus 3, 14 points of piercing damage. As I sink it in, don't move.
All right, so you hit him with that, and as the blade like goes in and you pull it back out, and the residue of the spell comes off. Extra damage.
6 more.
Okay.
So 20 altogether.
Okay. He definitely, like, as it goes in, he's like, ugh! And you pull it out, and you go, and you say, don't move. He goes, pain is nothing to me. And it is Eula's turn.
Use your smite slots. Just kidding.
You got a guy in your face, you got another guy grappled. Is that a concentration spell, by the way? It's not important right now. It's not important until I hit you with something.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I hold my action until one of these guys does violence?
Sure.
I want to see if
Okay.
the intimidation check works.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, it's fine. They've all had a turn since Kel's like intimidation on her. It does not seem like it stopped them so far.
Okay.
But you can hold and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. It is these two guys' turn. So this one moves over a little bit. It's like just kind of, he's still crouched like behind that couch. He just moves over to like line up a better shot. He fires his crossbow at Kel. That's a 15 to hit. Shield! Alright, so that means it misses?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, so he fires his crossbow and Kel throws his hands out and you see that like shimmering half dome of magic appears over him. The crossbow hits it with like scattering of sparks and it deflects off at an angle, goes out behind him, and you guys hear this resounding like as the crossbow bolt hits one of the windows and the window just like shatters behind you guys. Then the other one takes a shot at Nula at disadvantage. His first roll was a 7, so it doesn't matter. The other one was 16. So he will miss. He's like fighting off these like vines as they're sprouting out of the shag carpet that I've just decided this establishment has.
Gross shag carpet too.
And holding him in place, and he's trying to like steady his crossbow as he's like his arm is being like tugged at by these vines.
Because he attacked, can I attack him? Alright. I will throw... Can I throw a javelin in
You can
place?
throw all the javelins your heart desires.
You're going to be at disadvantage with the guy in your face.
That is 21 to hit.
That hits.
That's 8 points of damage.
8 points?
Yep.
Okay.
That was max damage.
Cool. Alright.
Roll a 4.
Oh, no, never mind. I do max poorly.
It's max damage, you had no modifier and rolled an 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so the javelin, it like, you see it grazes and you like a big chunk comes out of his thigh and he goes like, and steadies his crossbow again. And it is... well, it was technically their turn, and that was your held action, but now their turn's done. So now it's Chain Guy's turn.
That was Walter before Chain.
I have Walter after Chain Guy.
Oh, never
I
mind.
thought Chain Guy went.
Nope.
No. I stabbed chain guy.
Okay, whatever.
Chain guy bantered, but
He
he
is
hasn't taken
nothing.
action yet.
Yep. That's right.
Alrighty, so
We're gonna have to.
alright, so he is going to Walter and Alar. He's going to attack both of you with the chain.
Okay.
Against Walter, that is they're both going to hit. It was a 12 and 11 plus his modifiers. We'll get you both.
12 uncanny dodge.
What? Before the modifiers, it was a 12 and 11.
Okay.
His modifiers are plus 6.
Oh yeah.
So he will handily hit both of you. So 9 to Alar.
Okay.
And then have it for uncanny dodge. And then Walter, you take 12 piercing damage.
So what is the concentration save for that?
If you took 12 damage, it'll be a 10.
I rolled a 16 plus 2 is 18.
So you're fine. So you maintain concentration on your spell.
And I took 12.
You took 12 points of piercing damage.
Criminy. I just gave myself inspiration.
And you kind of hear him chuckling menacingly beneath his hood as you guys have sort of made some attempts at intimidating him, and he seems like he has no fear of either of you or anybody's attempts at hurting him so far. Now it is your turn.
I'm gonna use my vampire touch. That's a 14 plus 6, so 20 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
And that does 2 for 7 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
I'm going to heal half.
Alright. So you continue to life out of him. And
I think that's half up or half down. I might have to. It's half down.
so these two are now going to go. Nula, the one in front of you, is going to attack you with his short sword twice.
Okay.
It's a 3 and a 1, so he misses both times. You're easily just deflecting.
Sorry, it doesn't say half up or half down. Do you want to do half down or half
Always
up?
half down.
Always half down?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to lose 2 more points.
So Nula's one-handedly fending off this guy's sword, throwing javelins at another guy. That guy, for his part, as this woman lowers her crossbow and kind of looks to him, he turns to her, and you guys just hear this and he just puts his crossbow to her head and fires it. And you just hear the and her head snaps sideways and she falls dead to the ground.
Must have rolled an natural.
That will certainly trigger your held action.
Yep. We're going to do a 3rd level empowered scorching
Turn
ray.
this man
Alright.
inside out.
Time to burn this building down.
Okay, so that's going to miss. I have 12 and 17.
Both.
And
No, the 17 will hit.
24.
The 12 will not hit. The other two will.
Okay, so we're gonna do 20. 8 fire damage.
28.
Yes.
Okay.
And we are going to check for wild magic. We are going to have wild magic.
Fireball set on yourself.
Well, magic.
I
Okay.
do not have evasion yet.
Let's see.
And I'm down.
So as that empowered scorching ray comes out, it strikes him center mass, and you just hear him go "Argh!" And he is thrown off his feet, slams into the back wall, and then drops back down. He lands on his feet and kind of staggers back up. And there's a big smoldering, smoking spot in his chest. And what is your wild magic?
Up to 3 creatures I choose within 30 feet take 4d10 lightning damage.
Alright! Call the thunder! Who's getting hit?
1, 2, 3.
That works for me.
That's...
So shall we say
Hold on.
let's roll it once and they'll all take the same?
Yeah.
Or do you, okay.
Yeah, no, let's.
You want to do 4d10? Because I got 4d10s. Here's some 4d10s.
That is 7, 13, 15, 24 lightning damage.
24 lightning damage.
I got d10s for days.
I don't think I've ever once used a D10.
Okay, that's
Only for percentage rolls.
I have a whole bunch of them. I just keep them in like...
sorry, 24?
Four.
You pissed off the fire god!
And lightning god.
I warned you! You've chosen poorly! Was really close to the one that's just I have to shout for the next minute. That's it.
So you guys, everybody is like the battle comes to a halt briefly as everybody is temporarily blinded by the blue-white flash of just like lightning coming from the ceiling, as it's just like, and as your kind of vision clears, there are 3 very wounded and very confused black-clad figures. Like reeling and smoldering from where they were hit with this bolts of lightning from the skies. As you see Kel like standing there and the sort of like the static discharge is like clearing off of
Not for nothing, but Kel just did 100 damage this round.
And looks terrified. No, terrified.
And terrifying.
That may or may not be true. I have no control over
That wasn't even Kel. Somebody's just having a real good time upstairs.
Alrighty.
Oh, static.
Who the hell's even turn is it at this point? I think it's
was
Brahms.
his.
Yeah, it's Brahms' turn at this point.
Alright, I'm gonna try
Jesus, you just did all that on a reaction?
hideous laughter.
Okay.
No,
Hell
action.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He rolls a 7 this time.
Alright, so he's hideous laughter.
So he was already kind of like... and then he got hit with lightning, and he was like... Your pain is nothing. Pain is like a warm blanket to me.
Then he falls.
And then he falls down, and like the laughing becomes like crazed, and you guys kind of realize that Brahm has like ensorcelled him at this point. You are still grappled by this chain, which is in his hands. It doesn't cause him to drop his stuff. That he's
Roll
holding.
around laughing on the ground.
I think...
Does the spell cause them to drop their weapons?
I believe it does.
If I am mistaken, then let me know. I was not aware of that.
Racks him with terrible pain. Oh, that's just sorry. Falls.
She's dead.
Into fits of laughter if the spell effect. The target must succeed a wisdom or fall prone,
Oh, okay.
becoming incapacitated and unable to stand for the duration.
Okay.
So
never
here's
mind.
what I will say, since it implies the incapacitated, I don't think he's able to then maintain the like strength
The grip.
check required to hold that chain on you. So the chain goes slack and like falls down around you. You still got it, but it's not on you anymore.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. All right. Well, Cal, it is your turn as the lady is no more. You've been domed by a crossbow.
We're gonna run it back.
All right.
That is a 23 and a 11.
The 23 will hit.
Yep, only one of them's gonna hit.
Same guy, the hat guy?
Yep.
Okay.
You're gonna do 16 points of fire damage and check for wild magic. No.
Okay. Alright, so again, he's just recovering from like the first one, and a second one like slams him into the wall. Ugh! Stop it! Damn! Still up.
No.
Call them off!
He says, never, you will die!
Big words from a guy who keeps bitch slapped into the
It
ground.
is Alar's turn.
Alright.
This guy's like on the ground like...
I like how we assume because he's got a hat, he's the one in charge.
Yeah. I don't want to damage chain guy because that'll break the spell. Let's see.
She looked at him for like
Show the weakness and
Yeah.
shatter.
He's also been.
But she
wounded.
specifically checked what he wanted to do.
He's
True.
also been.
So
wounded.
that's
he
what,
was also
that's
just
what I'm
standing next to
operating
her.
under the assumption of.
He's also taken like
15
80
million
points of
damage.
damage. Okay, he's in range. Hat guy makes a wisdom saving throw.
He fails.
Okay.
D12, he's been damaged.
Yep. 9 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Somewhere there's a bell that
So
tolls.
you guys just hear like, and
Upstairs.
Hat guy's like, "Ugh! You see like a little bit of blood comes out of one of his ears. As
Call them off.
Alrighty. That was Alar's turn. Newly, you're up.
I will attack the guy in front of me. With my Warhammer. So the first one is 26. Second one is 12.
The 26 definitely hits. That guy is... the 12 will not hit.
Well, not it. Okay.
No.
11 points of damage.
Alrighty. You drive your Warhammer down onto, like, the spot between his neck and his shoulder, like, right into his collarbone. And there's just a wet crunch, and you see he, like, falls to the ground, dead.
That's one.
Alrighty. Anything else?
Can I move?
Yeah.
I will move.
That one's only incapacitated.
No, I'm doing
Oh.
Can I move over the couches?
Yeah.
Alright. 1, 2,
Consider it, like,
3,
difficult terrain, essentially. So, like, that costs you 10
5.
feet of movement to get on there.
4, 5.
So you can, that's as far as you can get.
Okay. Okay.
So you're, like, on the seat part of the couch.
Yep.
The back is in front of you.
Feet
Alrighty.
squish in like up to the shin.
Okay. And so it is...
Roll for ooze. Gotcha. And ooze comes out of the can.
That's all we need.
I have memory foam beds.
that guy's turn.
It's a waterbed.
Water chase.
No, it is that guy's turn. So he is going to drop his crossbow, and he's going to move, like...
Is he still restrained?
Oh, yeah.
That's the restrained guy.
He's got to make a strength check to try and get out. He rolls a 17. That takes his action to break out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he breaks out and he moves, like, around the other side there next to his friend. Still, like, in front of, like,
Okay.
there, yeah. And he stows the crossbow and you see he pulls out a dagger. So that'll be his turn. No. I'm incorrect. Okay. That makes it Chain Guy's turn. He will repeat his saving throw. It's a wisdom, you said? He rolls he gets a 15. No, he gets a 16. Does that be that your DC is a 13?
Yes.
Okay, so he breaks out of the hideous laughter.
No, it's a 14.
He
Yeah.
rolled a 16, doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
So he then it says let's say end of his turn, right? He can repeat the saving throw.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all he can do. He shakes free. You see the kind of manic laughter dies down, and you see him like adjust his grip on his chain, getting ready to do something. Walter, that is your turn.
Let's see him free himself from the laughter. I'm going to just kind of plunge my hand into his face. And
Do it.
his vest.
Okay.
So 20, not natural,
Hits.
and it's going to be 9 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
I'm going to heal 4.
Oops.
Y'all stay down.
Alrighty. And that is your turn, which brings us to that guy and that guy.
Okay.
That guy is going to take a shot with his crossbow at Walter. As Walter is diddle-handing his
well, this is the proper place for it.
I have magical fingers. What can I do?
21, so that'll hit.
Alright. Let me make my... how many... What is the DC for that?
Well, it's just a crossbow.
I'm
con.
concentrating.
You haven't taken the damage yet, so 10 damage. So it would be a DC 10 save.
15.
Okay, so you make the save to maintain your vampiric touch, but you do take 10 points of piercing damage, and that guy is also going to shoot Walter. Actually,
Oh, bad day to be Walter.
That is a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. And that is 9 more points of piercing damage. So DC 10 again.
Nope, fail.
Alright, so your vampiric touch fails. You lose your connection with Chain Guy.
Alright.
And,
Technically, it's not that. It's just like I'm maintaining it, so I can attack anybody else.
that's what I'm just saying.
But yeah, so I'm not stealing his
the magic bond is broken. And the guy with the sword over his head there kind of like snarls out. He says, "You will die, or we will die together." And
Or maybe just you'll die.
it is. That was their turn. It is Brom's turn.
I'm gonna heat the metal of the chain in the guy.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Let me double check the.
So that would be 9 points of damage.
9 points of
There's
damage.
a fire damage.
Alrighty, so he's going to make a Constitution saving throw to see if he can hold on to his chain, which he succeeds. Okay,
Good.
so you hear the like of this chain
Good,
starting to
hold
burn
on to
into
it.
his hands. He just goes like, but he's not letting go.
It's the one save I like when they make.
And at this point, you guys are, as you're joining battle, the fight is commencing here. You hear from behind you all the sound of the door like bursts open, and an individual steps into the room. Let's use, I don't know, who we like.
Police Brown.
Let's use this guy. No, that's too fancy. Use this. Individual steps into the room. Human man, wearing like a heavy winter cloak, but from beneath the cloak, a crossbow comes up and fires, hitting that guy. For
not somebody's face we have to immediately punch in.
for 7 points of damage.
Immediately. Right there.
We have more pressing issues. We survive this, then we'll find out what he. This.
Then we'll see if we have to punch his face in.
And oh shit! Oh no, that's not what guy he is. Okay,
All right.
all right. I thought he died, but he didn't die. He has more health than I realized. It does hit him with a crossbow though. Which brings us to the top of the order, and Kel.
We're gonna Chaos Bolt this guy.
Alrighty, roll
Second
to
level.
hit.
That is a 20.
20. That definitely hits.
Well, how badly do I want to try to get a bounce? Not that badly. Alright, we will do 16, 23 points of thunder damage.
All right, so there is a resounding, Kel lances this energy out. There's a loud and you just see it's like a sonic blast as this guy is just thrown off his feet, hits the wall. The actual the plaster of the wall at this point, as he's hit it so many times, just crumbles in, and he just falls to the ground at the foot of the wall there and does not get back up.
So this guy's
He is dead.
About time.
Thus ends the reign of Hat Guy. Alrighty.
Stick that in your head, bitch.
Anything else, Kel? Nope. Okay. Elar, you're up.
Chain guy's still prone, right?
Chain Guy's still prone.
Okay. Advantage on stab. Booming blade. Neither of them are 20s, but both of them hit.
Alrighty.
5, 6, 7, 10 plus 3, 13 points.
Okay.
How'd you manage to roll all ones on that?
Yeah.
Alrighty. You stab into him, and he from the ground he's fine. And it is Nula's turn.
I will hold my action
Okay.
and be like, your leader is dead. Surrender.
All right.
These guys really don't see.
And if either of these two attack, then I'm going.
Okay. It is. Oh, they're dead. That's not their turn. They're dead. It's Chain Guy's turn. He gets up and he pulls the chain taut, and as he loops it over his head, he says, "Just because a guy has a cool hat doesn't mean he's the boss." And he starts whipping you guys with his chain. So Walter,
Does standing activate the booming blade?
I don't know.
No, I don't. I'm not sure.
I mean, you have to use half your movement to stand, but that's not necessarily moving away from the spot.
Well, I'm gonna start making attacks while he looks that up. Okay, he misses with his first attack against Walter.
Hooray!
His second attack against Walter.
He really hates Wolf.
I will take a 13 or less, thank you.
Will you take a 22?
I mean, I guess I will definitely take a 22 because that is almost double my armor class.
You take
57.
6 points of piercing damage. And his third attack against Walter.
I have earned this.
Not to murder Walter, but it is still cherry red.
Oh, yeah. You can hear his hands burning as he's hitting you with his chain.
Walter is getting hit with something that is
That was
red
my
hot.
point.
Ooh,
Is it doing excess damage?
interesting.
That's why I said not to murder Walter.
Let me, he hits again, so let me do this damage real quick.
Hold on.
You take another 12 piercing.
Hold on. I'm going to make sure.
I mean, you didn't just necessarily enchant it as...
I'm going to bend luck
Okay.
on that last attack.
Alrighty.
And
So he's got to reroll, is that the idea?
No, I'm going to reduce it by 2.
It's not good enough.
That's what you mean.
It was like a 24 or something like that.
well-
He rolled a 16 plus.
Well, I tried.
On a scale of 1 to
Effect
46, I'm looking like a 3 right about now, so...
Before
Oh,
then,
no.
So it'd be great if that didn't
all
give
does
it
is
magical
tell me
fire
if it
damage.
moves. That doesn't
But
say
it
whether
does.
Standing is.
Yeah, I don't know if I can deactivate it not on my turn. Right?
It doesn't... I mean...
Any creature in physical contact with the object takes 2d8 fire damage.
But the
You
point is,
getting
I can't.
hit with the chain is physical contact with it,
Yep.
so...
But the point is, I can't. It's not on my turn.
No,
I can't
it's-
turn
I
off
don't
the
think
spell.
you can turn it off as a reaction.
So,
I'll have to read up on that
But
later. But for now, I'm gonna say it specifies anything that's in physical contact with
Getting
the object
hit is
being
definitely
heated.
physical.
Like
contact.
him
Would
hitting
he
you
be-
with it.
Would he be
I mean, no,
able to spin the thing
I would say,
around?
don't even roll because I'm dead at that point. Like, if you're gonna add fire damage, I'm just straight up dead.
So Walter goes down.
I'm down.
And he hisses through his teeth just loud enough for the three of you around him as Walter drops unconscious. You hear him go, "Taste oblivion," and
Page
that's
30.
the end of his turn.
Well, it's also the end of my turn. I think
It's
that's
the end of Walter's turn, because Walter's down. It is these two guys' turn.
Did make a death save.
Okay.
Actually.
I want to run something by you guys about death saves that I read that I thought was cool.
So,
but for now, we're fine.
I actually regain hit points. 6th level. I regain 1d8 hit points.
That works while you're... That's like when you drop...
When I succeed on a death save or help somebody else succeed on a death save with Spare the Dying, I regain...
Cool. Alright, so on Walter's turn, you guys see him get, like, chain whipped into unconsciousness, and a moment later he kind of, like... comes back to as if something horrible has just happened to him, but he wakes up with...
No info, so...
Dude. I regained 3 HP.
With 3
I'm
HP.
back to 3.
Walter is bloodied on the ground.
And slightly on fire.
That's just a little small.
So it is these two guys' turn. They're both going to move up to the couch here, and they're both going to make 2 attacks against Nula. So she's the closest to them.
That means they're going to get punched.
It means
I
you attack them.
Reaction.
At least 15.
Your held action, rather.
Yeah.
So... Let me get their stats up again.
Hurry up and kill that guy before it's my turn again.
I've got a plan.
I'm working on it.
Did he take more damage on his turn?
I think he takes damage on Brahm's turn.
Move my turn. Gotcha.
He's going to take the fire damage.
Where? What?
And then I'm going to say he played.
There they are. Lost their stat blocks for a second there. 24 from one of them,
Alright, that'll hit.
and the other one is a 16, so you get hit once. Oh, shit, that was... No, yeah, that's right. Okay. I was like, wait, I wasn't rolling with advantage, but they both made 2 attacks. That's why I rolled 4 dice. So you do get hit once. You will take... 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. It's the first time one of these 2 dudes managed to hit somebody with their goddamn sword this fight.
Saving throw, that one plus 4. Ooh, it's in that one.
Ooh.
It's unfortunate.
Your head falls off.
As that sword goes into you, you feel like the bite of the blade, and you immediately feel a burning sensation in the where it cut you. As you take
From the sword.
25 points of poison damage.
Oh,
Man.
that's
Bless you.
it.
That's some.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no offense, I'm glad that you took it rather than any of us.
Which one did that?
Which one had the 16 as dice? The
one
blue
that's
one.
about to be murdered by a paladin, probably.
The blue one.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
They're up, by the way. Yeah, they're in that space. They're like right at the couch, so they're in hit range of you.
I will step up.
Nula steps on the back of the couch and rolls it that way into their
Onto
zone
that
here.
guy's foot.
Hang on a second. It's Braun. Oh, that's your reaction. Go ahead.
Yep.
Or your held action rather.
12.
12
attack.
will not hit.
That's not flat.
Hey, you rolled the same
It's the
number.
same one. So 22.
No. So that 22.
Yeah, I was
So
going to
22.
say.
Oh, well, you said 12, and then you're like, oh, you rolled the same, and then you were like 22.
No,
and I
she
got confused.
rolled
A 15.
22
15
hits.
and it wasn't
A
flat.
22
She rolled
hits.
it again.
Gotcha.
10.
10 points of damage. Okay, to that one. That's the first damage that guy's taken.
Great.
Alrighty. Chain guy.
That you get right off the bat, take 8 points of damage.
Okay.
Then
He's going to make a Constitution saving throw, which he fails. He drops his chain.
does a, I assume a 20 plus hits.
Ouch.
Hits him.
A 20 plus does hit him, yes.
So he is now going to take. Let's re-roll that again. So that's 4 damage there.
What are you doing to him?
I'm just stabbing him,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna Psychic Blades, which is 3 more d6. He's really
He's
pissing
earned
me.
it. Yes.
That's another 5.
Okay. Brahm, you run him through with your sword, and he just and a bunch of blood comes out of his mouth. But he, like, grabs onto your hands and, like, pulls himself into you on the sword.
And then the psychic bleeds.
Yeah, and he like, gets real close to your face. And he just whispers, only loud enough for you to hear. He goes, Void God comes. And then the psychic blades goes off, and he just goes like, and slides backwards off of your sword, dead.
Alright, that was horrible.
So you can knock him over. He's dead. Alright. Anything else, Brom?
Nope.
Alrighty. The guy at the door is going to take another shot at sword guy there with his crossbow. He will hit. He does 10 points of damage
I think we found one of the
to
major antagonists of this
that guy.
this world.
Mark.
Alrighty. Alright, he does another 10 points of damage to that guy. That guy kind of like staggers back, and you see like one of his arms kind of like goes limp. And he like sheds his he sheds the hand crossbow he had, and like readies his sword. And he's like staggering a little bit, swaying on the spot. And Kel, it is your turn.
We're just gonna firebolt this guy.
I didn't roll enough d6s on Newell's poison damage. I just realized.
What do you mean you didn't roll enough?
I rolled one too few.
13.
13 to hit. 13 will not hit.
Alright.
Alrighty. Alar.
What type of point? Like what dice? D10?
A d6.
Bonus action to dash.
I rolled one too few d6. That's fine.
Does a 15 hit
Who
that
was
guy?
Yes, it
dead.
does. A 15 does hit that guy.
Okay. Thankfully, Nula is engaging him, so sneak attack. That's a little better. At least they're not ones. So 8, 12. He takes 15 points of piercing damage and thunder damage.
Okay. He is no more as you run up and just like the rapier just goes through his through his neck.
Hi, Nula.
Comes back out. And you see like
You don't look so good.
so that was Alar's turn. It is your turn, Nula. So that last guy there, his you just see like his eyes. His eyes just like there's just this burning like sadistic madness in his eyes as he like looks at you and he goes, "Come on!"
Okay. Oblige him! Oblige him!
He wants it, you don't even have to pay.
Kick him right in the balls.
Can I do an unarmed strike at him?
I
Right
guess.
to the balls.
2.
No, if you nab 20,
You're really unarmed if your fist is covered in metal.
That was a 12, so it's not gonna.
That's 12 will not
she
hit.
said.
So Nula shifts her massive warhammer to one side so that she can then punch at this guy, and he easily just like sidesteps it. He's dead. Walter, is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna stand up and shake off the recently deceased rigger. And then we're gonna double Eldritch Blast the last standing guy, because I'm really annoyed that I got knocked out.
Roll to hit.
And it's an 11 and a 14.
Neither of those will.
15.
The 15 will hit.
Yeah.
Aha.
That's 10 points of Eldritch Blast.
Okay. So he you see him kind of like get knocked to the side of the Eldritch
Then
Blast.
I'm going to casually go back around. Lay out behind this couch.
His eyes like flick in your direction for a second, but they like snap back to Nula. You guys get the impression that like he knows he's going down and he's gonna try and take the Dragonborn with him. And it is his turn, so he's gonna make 2 attacks against Nula. One is a 2, and the other
Confusing.
is a 20 something.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
25.
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
I don't know. Let me check.
Go ahead and make that Constitution saving throw again.
That was a nat 20.
Nice.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
So you take from the sword, you take 9 piercing damage.
Oh, great.
And from the poison, since you saved, you only take...
It's a-
Well, I'm at 1, so
Oh, well,
going
then
down.
you're down. Yeah. You take half of the, 14, whatever this was going to be.
You should take half
So
of
you
the
guys see Nua,
416.
topples back over this couch that she had been, fighting from atop of. As she goes down, and he then turns, and points this blade, which you can now see has this very sheen of some kind of a viscous liquid on it. Points it at you, Alar. And
Okay.
Brahm, it is your turn.
Oh boy, what's this guy left?
Just that guy, by Nua.
He's holding a sword.
He's got a sword.
Let me heat that now.
Okay.
Thank you.
He will make a
Now it
Constitution
only
saving
does
throw.
4 damage.
4 damage? Okay. He does manage to hold on to the sword, though.
Good. Actually, not so good because if he hits.
Yeah, if he hits me, I'm gonna go down too.
Alrighty.
Is it a bonus action to disable the spell, or is it an action to disable the spell?
I believe it's an action.
It should say on there. Oh, actually, I have it pulled up.
I was gonna say I don't know. I don't know that it says anything about turning it off myself.
You can use a bonus action to cause the damage again. Okay. I don't know. I'd say it's probably, we'd call it maybe even a free action. I'll have to look up at that. It's certainly not a reaction, so you can't do it on somebody else's turn.
I'm saying, if
in
it's
the
a free
event
action,
of
I'm gonna-
oh shit, he's gonna heat metal, hit Alar with a hot
Yeah, I'm
sword.
gonna turn it off now
Okay.
on my turn. I'll heat it and then turn it off.
Okay, that's fine. So the sword just and he's and he holds onto it still. And
watch it, buddy.
guy at the door there takes a shot with his crossbow. This time he misses it. Sails wide. Kel, you're up.
Well,
Again.
Do it.
Moida.
let me double check that I know how this works. Okay.
Moida.
So-
There's a difference between murdering somebody and moidering someone. One of
So,
them involves a rubber
sleep has a 90-foot range and an area.
Yep.
So hypothetically, I can target it somewhere over here so that he's the only one in that area.
You don't have to worry about me. I'm immune. to
What's
sleep.
the area of effect?
20 feet.
You're probably okay because you're gonna run into the corner of the room pretty close to there. So you might catch Alar in it, but like you said, he can't be slept. So you can drop it somewhere that it'll only hit him.
All right, so we're gonna grab a bunch of d8s.
Let me figure out what his remaining health is here.
I need one more.
I know they're here.
That's enough. 7. 30.
30?
Yes.
He does not fall asleep.
Cool.
Okay.
Cast that spell out, and he it doesn't seem to phase him.
That's not good.
Anything else?
Cry a little bit.
Nope.
Okay. Alar, you're up.
Okay. Well, into the breach. I move up the 5 feet. And,
All
Has
right.
this guy done anything in 47 turns?
He's shot.
probably-
Yeah,
He's been
shot.
shooting
Oh.
crossbows every round.
Yeah.
Actually, this round was the first time he missed. He hit the other guy twice in the 3 rounds he's been in the thing. He's hit that guy twice and then missed.
19.
19 will hit.
Stable booming blade. So do that. He takes 16 points
Nice.
of damage,
Okay.
and I'm gonna use my bonus action to disengage. So
Okay.
if he wants to come at me,
Alrighty.
come on, come on.
Alright. It's Alar's turn. Nula, I need a death save.
7.
That's a failure.
Your boy got the bench.
You all become suddenly very aware that if he advantage attacks your prone companion with one death save, she dies immediately.
Wish I knew that before I disengaged.
So that's it. It is your turn. Luckily, however, he's far too crazy for that, as he just
Poops.
he just starts like coming for you. So he'll take that damage.
12 points.
Okay.
Please be dead.
6, 7. He's not dead, but he like you see as he like takes the step and like the sword cut where he was wounded goes poof, big gout of blood blows off the side of him. He's like,
Come on.
and he keeps coming. He comes right up to Alar and makes 2 attacks with his sword. One of them is a 17 plus stuff.
That
the other
hits.
one is a 14.
Both hit.
Okay, 2 hits. So Constitution saving throw for me.
10.
Okay. So what is the saving throw? Saving throw is a 15.
I had 13 hit points, so I'm pretty sure I'm...
Probably. Let's just double check. He might roll very poorly on his damage.
I got it.
Uncanny dodge for the weapon damage.
Okay, so for the first weapon attack, you will take, instead of 6, you will take 3.
Okay, so it's 10.
For the second weapon attack, you will take 4.
Okay.
And then for the poison, since you failed,
73.
I make the second save if it matters.
Okay.
Since it's 2 separate attacks.
probably won't.
Yeah, not unless you roll all ones.
You're already at 12.
I'm down.
17 points of
Okay. Down I
poison
go.
damage, so Alar drops as well. Alrighty. Brom, you are up. He's still holding your sword. Oh, you dismissed the spell.
I guess was the right move. Now he hit.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got left in terms of spell slots.
As you see, like,
think I
as
have
Alar
enough.
drops, he, like, turns his eyes, Brom, on you. And, like, one of them, you see, like, the sclera has, like, burst, and there's just, like, blood is, like, filling the white of his eye.
Piglet. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna do some dissonant whisper.
Alrighty. He will make his check. He rolls a 13, and his was a wisdom.
Yes.
So he has a +0, so it's a 13.
So he fails.
He fails.
Yay.
Okay. That's some decent damage. 15 points of damage.
Okay.
Of
Psychic?
psychic damage? Yeah, psychic damage.
He starts
It's
walking
pretty crazy, so.
towards you. Like, thunk, thunk. And you guys hear Brom begin to, like, mutter under his breath. And this guy starts to, like, sway as he's coming, but he takes another step, and Brom is, like, speaking, like, sub-vocally. You see his, like, his lips moving a little bit. This guy's step gets a little closer. The sword comes back, and then there is, like, almost a pressure, like, rushes off of Brom and hits over him, and he just, like, the sword drops, and he, like, reaches one hand and, like, grabs onto your shirt collar, and you see, like, the little strip of his face that's visible is, like, turning, like, red, and all these veins are, like, rushing to the side, and he's like, and he just drops dead to the ground.
Am I next in initiative order?
At this point, you're out of initiative. Everyone's dead.
Before that happens, because I don't want to make her do that, I'm going to heal. I'm going to, basically, on what would be my turn,
Sure.
I'm going to leap over, spare the dying ALR, and hit bonus action healing word, Nula.
That's fine. Yeah, you guys are able to.
So you come back with 7.
Okay.
And then just, like, magical defibrillator ALR again.
Okay, I'm breathing.
So you're at 0, but I guess we can take a nap. In a second, I need to have a conversation with the chain guy.
Oh.
So then I'll come over and I'll.
So this guy is like kind of
Like-
started to move into the room, and he's sort of just
See how
like
many-
looking around at stuff so far.
Like 10 points you.
That. I'm gonna roll over and grab that sword.
So...
It's definitely coated in something.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find out what that is. And make sure no one ever uses that on me again.
Who are you? I pointed.
He kind of looks. He looks at you. So he's human. Looks to be like mid 50s. He's just sort of like he's just kind of rumpled looking in general. He has kind of this like hangdog expression in his face. He just kind of like looks like scratches. He's got several days full of stubble. He's like, "Who are you?"
This is not a game of who the fuck are you, okay?
Alar's gonna crawl up over this thing.
He's kind of like he's like
I'm gonna look over. I was like, if you're not Harken, you need to leave now.
he's like, "Do I know you?"
Okay, you are Harken.
We need to figure this out later. We need to search these people and then not be here.
Dimios sent us.
Oh. He kind of like looks. He hears you say this, and he's like, "Yeah, I like him."
Okay, let's tear this place apart.
He reaches into his like cloak. He pulls out a small like stone about this big, and he goes, "Teak." And like a second later, you hear like from the other end, Harken, what the hell? He goes, "Teak, listen. Place in Mud Bottom called the Harpsichord. If the call hasn't come in, it's going to soon. Some shit just went down. It got a little loud. Teak, you need to do me a favor." He kind of looks around and says, "Make sure the right people show up to the scene. And if you can stall them for like 5 minutes." And she goes, "Harken, what the hell is going on? Teak, we don't have time, please." And there's like a long kind of pause, and she's like, "God damn it. Fuck you, Harken. Fine. But you owe me an explanation." And he's like, "Yep. Thanks, Teak." And he puts the stone away. And he kind of looks at you guys. He goes, "Okay, we need to do what we're going to do quick and get the hell out of here."
Okay. Office. Alar's.
Do we agree that this is the leader? And we'll just point to the guy that was like with the chain.
He's like, "I don't know. I don't know who these guys are."
We have 3 seconds to decide.
Grab as much of their stuff as you can. Let's go.
I'm
Alright,
beelining for the office.
Okay.
Take his chain weapon.
I'm gonna take my shovel and take his goddamn head.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, we did not have time for that. Okay.
Harken kind of watches this impassively, and he's like, "Gross."
Everybody around is like, "Go! Jesus, Walter."
Look, we don't have time. We don't have time. to
He
ask
doesn't really
questions
comment.
here.
He just goes and he starts like
Yep.
rifling these guys.
Can I go to the desk and like look for paperwork,
Sure.
or if there's people upstairs?
Wait, which desk? The front desk
Yeah,
or
the
the
front desk.
office?
The
The
front
office
desk.
was
They're
back.
both that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into the office.
I'm in there too.
So you two are in the office. You're looking at the desk.
I'm
He's
helping-
I'm helping him.
You
go
two
through
can
their
rifle
stuff and
bodies.
go
You're
through
severing a head.
I'm gonna ask him some questions later.
Yep. Go ahead
So-
and make an investigation roll, everybody.
26.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
God damn it. You were too busy with a head.
We are going to
It's a secret
Tides
to
of Chaos.
Okay.
That is a natural 20.
Well,
Nice.
Plus some.
we went to the whorehouse.
Got
Walter
it.
got some head. Had to be
Is a
said.
20.
Nula and Alar got royally screwed.
Harken gets a
You fisted a
16
couple
plus some stuff.
people.
He used his magic hand.
What was your investigation of that desk? Nula?
Ugh.
Oh. 19 plus 19.
So, desk person, office people. What you find is... what it boils down to is what you find is nothing. But the
Cool.
nothing that you find is very indicative of the fact that, like, the upper portion of this building is, like, bullshit. There's, like, paperwork that is associated with, like... Yeah, the place does operate as, like, what it's supposed to be, but, like, you can tell, with those investigations, you, like, flip through their papers and stuff, you can tell that, like, the upper portion of this is being used as like a front for something else, because they're like a pretty cursory glance shows that they're like their money trail doesn't look like it makes sense, and like records are not really, it doesn't look like anybody's really spending a lot of time on the records. However, that only goes so far as about the last couple of months. Prior to that, things seem like it's still a shady business, but prior to that, you get the impression from like the ledgers and stuff that like this is what they were using, this is what this place was, and you get the impression about 2 months ago, like something changed with the like the running of this establishment, that like something else was being run through here. Kel and Harken, as they search these corpses, what they find beneath all of their dark outfits, all of these men bear signs of being severely brutalized. Bruising, scarring, wounds both old and new cover their flesh, and around each of their torsos, underneath their garments, are wrapped lengths of chain.
Like the guy at the teleportation station.
They are carrying no distinguishing items. They're carrying like no money. They literally just had like the clothes they were wearing and the weapons that they had on them. As you like pull away masks and stuff, they just look like normal dudes, except for the fact that they're clearly like something wrong with them. And they do like, they all look like, you would almost say that it was like somebody who was like tortured for like long periods of time, because there's like wounds that are grisly but have like healed, you know, some of them even over like years. That's all you guys find just like on those bodies. It's been like a couple of minutes. You guys have kind of done your searching. Harken sort of looks. He kind of looks to the broken window, like out to the street. And he goes, "All right. Anything else? I didn't see the beginning of the fight. Like were they upstairs? Where did they come from?
They came from the way downstairs.
They came from downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, they came from that way.
He's like, shit. All right, and he like kind of like trots and goes running to like go to the door because he's like gonna go downstairs.
Do we need to check upstairs? Could there be
We
any?
have to go after him. He can't be here.
All right. I'll follow him.
All right, Ilara follow him down as well.
As he's like running, he kind of calls over. He's like up or down, it doesn't matter, but we got to get out of here and like fast. We're almost out of time. And he just goes downstairs. So no investigation rolls required. There is nothing to be missed in this space. It is completely empty. There's a dirt floor, and there appears to be like a ritual circle in the floor. Somebody has like furrowed out a circle about 20 feet in diameter in the center of this space. There are black candles placed like all around the outside of the ring. And then like just outside the ring on one side, there is a about waist height blank stone pedestal. Nothing on it, just featureless stone pedestal set onto the ground. The dirt within this circle is soaked with what you are fairly sure is a like decent amount of blood.
Cool. Arcana check.
Sure.
Is it magic blood?
16.
Nothing specific in terms of like spell stuff, but clearly this was there's something ritualistic about whatever was happening down here.
I'm gonna quickly try to note the orientation of the
That's
circle,
fine.
just to like make a copy of it and the orientation of
Sure.
everything. For
Easy enough to do. The room is featureless. Other than that, you know, Harken basically like takes a quick look around.
Okay.
He's like, okay, time to go.
Yep. Out. Go.
And he back up the stairs, and begins to like lead you guys out the door.
Yep.
before I leave disguise self is just like a random commenter I saw
Yeah,
like, at somewhere
I
in the entrance.
Look down, I
Doesn't
realize
matter.
I'm covered in blood, so disguise self, just a normal working class human.
And as you guys run down the steps of this, you hear like commotion coming, and he's like, "Whoa!"
Other way.
Yeah, he points, and you hear him kind of mutter like, "Thank you, Teak," and he like leads you off, and he's like, "Come on, I have a place we can stay." And you head off, and he leads you. And as we close tonight's session, Investigator Harken says, "Okay, we have a lot to talk about."
You have no idea.
Alrighty, that's it, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us for tonight's episode of Tabletop Legends.
Notes.
Well, we'll pass these out. We didn't take a break, did we?
Yeah, my bladder knows that we didn't take a break.
I peed right before, and then I forgot my water, so I've been. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I might pop our advertisement roll up as we shut things down, just to make sure we get that out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Join us next Tuesday for a continuation.
We doing the other thing on camera as well?
Oh yeah, we have a couple other things I want to do tonight. So stick with us. You guys vamp. I'm gonna go get 2 things, and we'll be right back.
Okay, he's gonna get 2 things and be right back. So
And we are going to be intently deciding who our golden D20 is. For those of you who are tuning in who have no idea, if someone does something exceptionally cool or silly or just really, really noteworthy, each of us get a vote. Whoever gets the most votes gets a basically a free natural 20 to use for something in the next session.
and chat can vote as well. So if anybody in chat wants to vote for any of your favorite players, that comes into account. So
Favorite players, favorite actions, go for it.
put those in the comments in the chat right now.
Do you consider that a cultist?
I don't think we know how to classify them yet.
All right, severed head it is. It's a secret. It's a secret tool that will help us later. It's fine.
This is a habit that we're going to have to talk about.
Walter's head severing.
Yeah.
We didn't have time to just do it there.
Okay. Here's
We'll
our
do-
2
we'll
things
do it
tonight.
live.
We'll do it live.
Oh, okay.
These regular Oreos.
These
they-
are not regular Oreos.
Oh,
Are these the mint ones?
No, they're mystery flavor Oreos.
What does that even mean?
Oh.
They're literally mystery flavor Oreos, and it's like, if you can guess the flavor, you can win $10,000. So we're gonna eat Oreos.
These
and
are
we're
the
gonna
same ones that we had before. They tasted like Fruit Loops.
I have a guess. You guys
So
have
if
to
everything-
They
think
don't
they
smell like
are.
the same one.
Each package is the same kind, or all?
As far as I know,
I'm saying it's not like they're different flavors.
I don't think so.
It just tastes like Dunkaroos.
Yeah, it tastes like Dunkaroos /
It's
Cinnamon
like
Toast
cinnamon.
Crunch.
Yeah.
My guess is cinnamon graham cracker.
Yeah,
Yeah, I give it
I'm
that.
definitely getting a cinnamon.
Yeah, I would say cinnamon graham cracker.
It's like cinnamon, honey, that kind of thing.
All right, we're gonna enter to win $10,000 with our guess. If Tabletop Legends wins $10,000 from Oreos, that technically counts as a sponsorship.
Also,
and I'm gonna say we're sponsored by Oreos.
Also,
So we can
We're
shut
gonna
down
have-
my Oreos.
yeah, we're gonna have a lot nicer setup.
We won't, because I'm not putting the work into it. I'm tired.
No, we're just gonna retire.
Yeah, we're
We'll
done.
do the show, but sitting on fat stacks of cash.
That's all right, we have a vote for Brahm for sleight of mustache. We have a vote for Kel, and then just like a bunch of diagrams of lightning.
Cool.
I'm not reading this, Russell. Piece of shit. We have one for Walter for something I'm not reading on stream. We have one for Nula for Paladin Innocence, and we have one for Kel for the Lightning God. So that means that Kel gets our D20.
3 weeks in a row.
That was a wide split. Everybody, almost everybody got a vote. Kel gets the Kel the Lightning God gets the D20 for next week.
Lightning
okay.
for the Thunder God.
Yeah, that's right.
God of fishing, god of thunder, god of libraries.
So if you guys have stuck with us so far, thank you. We're going to do one last thing before we call it quits. Do you guys still have the, if you just use these again. We're doing, because I have my elf on the shelf, and we have our holiday season upon us. I realize that me just holding up a stocking doesn't goddamn mean anything.
Yeah, I was gonna
we're
say.
doing Secret Santa! Tabletop Legends Secret Santa.
I tried to think of some sort of
Yeah.
D&D related pun name for Secret Santa, but couldn't come up.
No.
Are we writing our names, our character names?
I would
or
say our name, just your own name. So proficiency bonus at large is doing one of these, but we thought it'd be fun to do one just for us as character, as our show. So everybody's gonna write their name on a piece of paper. We're gonna put them in the sock of destiny. This is a +1 stocking of gifting. Feet. Yeah, +1 sock of feet. I guess I gotta put myself in here, don't I? I don't have a pencil because Jason doesn't come prepared any week, and I had to give it to him.
I have pens somewhere.
Alrighty. So our Christmas episode, we still have to figure out the scheduling amongst ourselves. I think we're gonna try to have it go up on like the Tuesday that it would, which is Christmas Eve, which means we're not gonna be live because we have things to do that aren't D&D on Christmas Eve. But we're gonna see if we can maybe schedule like a pre-recorded. I have a one shot that I've prepared. And when we do that, we'll do like our Tabletop Legends gift exchange. So pass around. If you pick yourself, obviously put it back. Don't be a scumbag.
Keep it to yourself. Don't shout out. Oh my god. Becca.
Yeah,
whatever.
keep it yourself.
Oh, there's a bunch of them stuck together. Maybe we shouldn't use sticky notes. Let me just make sure it's not me. Oh, I picked myself.
For all that posturing.
Now I can't find it. Oh, no. Jesus.
I'm not gonna say Becca's is inside out and says her name on the outside, but I just saw that it definitely does that. It's okay.
If we pick each other.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
That's what happens.
Okay.
Just be real.
You said, yeah, be real stealthy about it.
Shifty at home, I guess.
What's this package? Don't worry about it!
Nothing! You saw nothing!
Nothing.
Good enough.
Good enough.
It would be really funny if you guys were the only two games left.
Did you put your name in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It would be funny if mine was the only one left in there when I get it, and then I'm like, well,
It would be funny. It would have been funnier.
Put them all back.
It would have been funnier if you just filled a stocking filled with your names.
Pull my own name, you guys. We have to do it again.
Alright.
God damn it.
Can someone turn mine around again? On inside out.
These three are good. Go back there. Jesus Christ. I'm picking first this time.
Then somebody else will pick their own name.
Yeah, well, this way at least it's not me who ruined it twice in a row. Oh, they're stuck together.
Yeah, it's real rough.
Fuck! I picked myself! Hang on, I'll do some on the outside. Should we put your name in the sock? We could.
So on a
Oh,
not to
anything.
plug any specific thing that we're not sponsored by, but Elfster is pretty great for that so far. I'm using it for my family's gift exchange because we have too many people.
It's like a gift exchange thing.
You just
There
put in
are-
a bunch of names and emails and it randomizes
Yeah.
things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does all the hat.
I can also
Throwing the name.
select not to match other people. So for my sister and her boyfriend, or for my brother and his wife, I can make it so they can't get each other.
Nifty.
Which is nice because then everybody has to pick something for somebody they're not just handing a present to.
Hold on. You make sure this is not me.
It is. Oh, no!
Wait.
Okay, wait.
Before you go too far, I have to make sure this isn't me. It's me. So
You didn't even look!
I did because I was really confident. Hold on.
Should we do the whole thing again?
This was not meant to be.
This looks like a
I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, we are not professionals.
hooray! It's not myself.
We are consummate professionals.
No, we are not professionals, consummate or otherwise.
Back up at yourself.
Back up yourself. I'm just turning the stream off and we're done.
There'll be no more.
Cancelled.
Cancelled.
I will certainly look around for a plug-in for that.
Okay, so everybody has somebody
That isn't
that
yourself.
isn't themselves.
Yes.
All right. Well, with that, I bid you all good night. Please enjoy. Please join my Jesus.
Please enjoy.
You know, on the upswing, I'm getting instant Teddy Grahams. You know what? I don't know anymore. I just don't.
Happy holidays.
Here's our ad roll. We love you. Good night. We will see you next.
We'll see you next
Tuesday.
week.
Hey there, everyone.